disappointment. Now the vice president often tell me, since he got a seat as vice president, how many persons have I recommended in this government to serve in the government as presidential appointee? Zero. Every appointment in Nimba County was done by him. He and I would discuss something as a brother. To implement it, you will bypass me and do different things. I don't talk on it.
Now you need to deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you. That's why we go tell you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask.
The good person in our whole United Party, that President Bouaka. You want to say that again? The only person that appreciate good among all the United Party people, that President Bouaka. The rest are ungrateful. The right, they use you and dumb you. But President Bouaka, if all of them were thinking the President Bouaka and behaving the President Bouaka, United Party will have another chance in 2029. Just for now, they do not regard people that help them. I'm not.
Of our soldiers were executed on this party ground. 2 at the back and 1 right at the headquarters. The man who shot and killed our people today is a darling boy in the Liberian National Police. They brought him back to shoot more guns. Get ready to shoot. Because we challenge the status quo appropriately.
Inform them in the violence or any student because of their action, it will be the day the entire Bouaka administration will cut down. We will massively violate the students in this country and we'll shut down the Bouaka administration. The day that happens, we have the capability to do so. And if they think this renovation project is a joke, let them try it. The fall of the Bouaka administration begins with this. If they think they will tumble on any student in this country or at the university like Liberia and water away infinity, while our children saving opponents and logic in the Western world, while we are subjected to agile power and bad learning conditions here, and the thing will say.
In the first 100 days, no car will get stuck on a major road in this country. And I mean it.
You say it out loud?
It's going down. First floor. There you have it.
That led to decades of war still run deep. But so too does the longing for reconciliation. A reconciliation defined not by political bargaining or by an artificial balance of power, by tribe, region, religion, or ethnicity, but by the equality of opportunity and a better future for all Liberians.
Bouaka can lie, the government, all the ministers in the government, they can lie. You know, they put all hustler, they put a hustler, they lie. Everything they say, they never say the truth.
Today, the supporters of His Excellency Joseph Bouaka presents him as a poor man from Lofa and assert that he will understand the plight of the poor people. Fellow Liberians, do not be fooled. First President Bouaka is not poor like you, not even as me. As Vice President, his office received more money from the government budget than any other Vice President has received in Liberia's history. He has enjoyed some of the best and most lucrative government jobs.
First of all, there's this, what I call sort of vicious lie about the fact that Mr. Pewee is gay or brings gay lifestyle to Liberia. It's complete bullshit. When people can accuse you of stealing people's money, when they can accuse you of being involved in war, anything, people don't make up stuff. They don't make up shit. Excuse my language, right? So it's complete nonsense. I'm married, 8 Teresa, 2 children, 5 grandchildren. I believe in traditional family values, so it's complete bullshit, complete nonsense.
Young man, vice president, young man that are vice president, the major stole 500,000. I mean, Jamaica, the major went to, I forget that Jamaica, the majors went to Ghana, the fit, and they bring it all company in the country. I mean, Kun, they can reach yourself. Kun, man, you know, Kun, but I want to sophisticated, quiet, hardcore rule in Liberia. But Liberia,
when 2029 come and pass, then you finally leave. Mission is completed. Now, what the rules of engagement? When the war ended, the guy said, the captain, the commander said, mission complete. There wounded out first. All men on board.
Everywhere there is no school, I will put school. And everywhere there is school and school in bad condition, I will renovate it. I told them, towns and villages, everywhere you will have lights in a town for children to play and people to see. I told them, every town will have safe drinking water.
If Charles Taylor is the problem, he will be out of here in the twinkle of an eye. And I say, let well-meaning Liberians come home. If we respect this constitution, a government formed in Accra is a violation of Article 1 of the Constitution. Let them come home. Let that government be formed in Monrovia.
The government that capital Rosemont, B road, all kinds of the place. I think the reason Joseph Baga will not do much because the old man, the papa is suffering. The papa loves the country, but he can't make it. The criminal there around him, they sophisticated than him. They are sophisticated criminals, so they can't make it.
Your league Costa, God know how to pay people. It's just simple. Costa that accused everybody but himself. Everybody, Joe, we join, we kill Joe, he killed Joseph Boaga. Boaga still living. Joe, when I go, no, you leave better. He made me senator. He almost made Joseph Boaga president until he screwed up. We gave God the glory. Yeah. Well, Boaga, when he screwed, he said, oh, we don't want to make sure we will fought for him to be reconciled with the president. And then the people who fought for him. No, you cause you will come. And cause I want a podcast, he said, they don't been calling me. Okay. The time you were calling me for me to kind of Boaga, did I put it on radio? That immaturity to do what you're talking about.
And I guarantee you, when we finish, there will not be a winner or the loser. Today we all wear the jersey of Liberia, and the victory belongs to the people, to the peace, and to our democracy. As we begin to build upon the foundation of this new Liberia, I, George Seleke Kromah, the new president, will first give thanks and praises to the Almighty God for the blessing He has bestowed upon our country. And I say, my people, thank you,
We elect on 85 irresponsible men what happened to the country. We elect on 85 irresponsible men to govern this country, not to be very irresponsible.
Hello. This is your Wednesday midweek edition of the closing argument. It is your time to pat yourself on the back. If you are in the Republic of Liberia, you have made it across, you have gone through the hump. You are now in Thursday. Basically, if you have a job in Liberia, you are now headed home or home. Since most of you don't have a job in Liberia, you've been home. Sitting home, If you are a father, like Ellen used to say, the kids would be asking you, what did Papa bring home? And the answer is a resounding nothing. Papa has nothing to report because Papa has no job. One of the worst things that can happen to a man is if you are able-bodied and cannot support your family. The dignity of a man is to be the head of the household, to be able to provide for his children, his wife, and our cultural extended families. Today in Liberia, unless you are a fanatic, and the very few that are enjoying the loot, then the Republic of Liberia is doing very well for you. But when you look at the data, you can tell that the majority of our Liberian people do not have employment. And according to the Liberian government, the House of Representatives summoned the finance minister and the comptroller general. Why is it that unemployment is very high in the Republic of Liberia, and the few that have a job, how come they are not being paid? Or being paid regularly, months? I was in Liberia for the holidays, the entire month of December and January. I left there January 19th. So I saw the plight of the people. Those who didn't have jobs, who are not employed, care less. For them, it's normal. But for those who have the privilege of being called an employee of the Republic of Liberia, when without pay. If you were a police officer, you were a janitor, you were a driver, those people way down did not get paid. And when some went to talk about it, the defenders of the government said, these are allegations by people who detest the government or opposition. So if you are a believer, the scripture says, whatever done in darkness will eventually come to light. The government itself, one branch of the Liberian government, the House of Representatives have had enough. And they summoned the finance minister and the comptroller general to come and show reason why, with all the money we have, they just celebrated the passage of $1.2 billion, first of its kind in the Republic, in the history of the Republic of Liberia. So if we have all this money, how come our employees are not being paid for months? The LRA boss, it's a double jala, went and proclaimed to the nation that Liberia had a surplus. We have collected so much money that we have a surplus. So how do you jive? How do you align what the House of Representatives say here? On the front pages of the paper yesterday, House summons Finance Minister, Controller General over persistent salary delay. The story was carried by Front Page Africa. Emmanuel Weedy Conway is the author. We have to be data-driven. We have to quote our sources. I am Jerome Gayman. Today is Wednesday, the 11th of the month of March. If you are tuning in, let us know where you are tuning in from. We want to say hello to the Dean of Journalism in Liberia. I love these guys. Photojournalists, they said nothing. But when they shoot one picture, and it flashes on the front pages of the paper, they don't have to say anything. The picture speaks for itself. The Dean, I call him the Dean, Mosaic Dennis. And he's in Minnesota. We got some good people in Minnesota. Sometimes I wonder, why would someone move to, if you were a Floridian, you're from California, you wonder why would somebody want to live in Minnesota or a place like Cleveland or Atlantic City, Philadelphia. Just kidding, guys. We love our folks from Philadelphia. We love all our folks from Minnesota. We love our folks from Atlantic City. In fact, one of our panelists, J. Victor Nagbe, is from Atlantic City, New Jersey. When I used to live in Atlantic City, I used to live in New Jersey, so I'm a Jersey boy myself. My homeboy Trump used to run Atlantic City in the 80s. The Trump Casino, Trump Hotel, Trump everything, So I'm quite familiar. I'm a Jersey boy. Let me welcome this Sylvester, the Dean of the Cabinet when it comes to the Dean is on the hot seat this week. He can't sit down because you better wear your glasses because we not start shooting at the border. Your window diplomacy, your split tire. I told you yesterday. This is what we are talking about. When you spend $500,000 in one man's office for entertainment, but you don't have one soldier or one policeman or one LDA out of important border crossing. This is what we call when they say your priorities are all screwed up. National security, in fact, the primary objective of the government is protections of its sovereignty and its citizens. You are not being paid to entertain at a grandeur level, where a man from the village like I will now be eating caviar, Russian caviar, and drinking Dom Perignon from France? Why the regular people suffer? Why our borders are porous? Why there are nobody? In fact, hopefully what I'm hearing is not true. The Guineans confiscated some of the yellow machines. let me welcome Honorable Pewee, Sylvester Pewee. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. No, I think that's not true.
No, I mean, I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. But we heard that they took some. They took some machines.
I want you to Boga go for that meal. Boga cry tell that man.
But we heard they took some equipment, earth moving equipment. Oh, those are not, they were not yellow and they were like green or blue.
Oh, Boga will move straight and tell that message that this is my signature thing. My legacy. But thank you, Mr. Gayman. But on a serious note, I've been closely following, and I had a conversation with about three very top Liberian journalists today, talk show hosts, and all the rest of that. And many of them are concerned. I also spoke to three sitting senators, including the chairman on defense and security of the Liberian Senate, Senator Momo Sarah, and I spoke to the two other senators very close to the United Party administration also, that a little bit concerned about what is unfolding actually. And they according to what they told me, and I respect them, that they're going to see some reason to elevate the budget and take some major priority issue to push through for the military of our country. It is important that you can't just, ever since the war, more than 2 decades now, we have not managed to even push the military to pre-war status. Half of the pre-war status active personnel. Before then, we had close to 8,000 trained men and women, gallant men and women in the Mediterranean at the time. And I heard this from one of the former commanding general of the armed forces of Liberia. He's late now, the general Augustine Zizé. Yes, General Zizé. General Zizé was the father of one of my late friends. He passed also, but when he said this to me at the time, that the military then was very powerful and was deployed in sensitive area. And I can recall when I spoke to the general at the time, was sometime in the early 2000, he was clear that there was strategic area that the military deployed, and he knew most of those barracks, like Kanama barrack in Belafene. They got the barrack in Belafene in Bon County. That was a very strategic barrack deployed there to ensure, because you had people also. Vonjama got a military barrack. Zozo, there was area for military to be positioned in Zozo and the rest of that across the country. And he said the way the military was structured, that was meant for the military to respond immediately to any external aggression or internal destabilization where the police or the paramilitary cannot handle. The military will move there with their standard force and that power. That's why the military are trained. They are trained to handle these kind of issues when they're in front. But now, ever since this, we have not had the time to really build the capacity of the military in Liberia, I think. And we do have some very gallant, trained men and women that are very competent. This new force, the Force for Good, it is well structured, well regimented, but the problem is the lacking the support. And I would think I would want to call on the president. I will be very soft today, because this is about building national concern, national priority, if you will. I will call on the president, the commitment he made this commitment this year 2 times, but quite recently, just February 11th, last month. He said the government will train And I said it yesterday, I know who came with clarification. No, the president stated that there will be 600 new personnel trained every year beginning this year to 2029. He said it on February 11th. But the shocking thing is that there's no money in the budget for said program. And what unfolded today, actually, and I'm told one person got shot in the thigh. Allegedly, that have to be verified and moving through the system. But I think it's important that we give room to some of these things so that the government will prioritize the military, pump some money in the budget, get some tactical logistic for the military, get some new the munition comes out of the country is absolute. Those way back weaponry we have and all those things we need to do some things, spend some money, get some around, maybe sacrifice, put some money in the budget around $20 million for the military for now. Get some new equipments, get some issue about them. We need both lethal and non-lethal forces for the military so you make them to be the kind of institution they should be. Other than that, there will be mockery and the rest of the military in our region will always just take on like probably some picking in around the place. So, but I think we can't expect our citizenry to expose the citizenry to this kind of a thing. Some may just be unfortunately killed. We cannot do that. Those that are trained to handle these things, they are the armed forces. They are trained to handle these things, not ordinary civilians. Anyway, but it's unfortunate actually.
Great. I just got information in my ear here that the Guinean ambassador to Liberia will be coming on our show momentarily. So we will be hoping that he comes either, we have sent him the link, either he will appear in person or he will do a telephone calling.
Yeah, today, when he asked for the number, I even sent his number in the, in the chat. And as a matter of fact, to push the disclaimer, he's my uncle, if you will. So let me push the disclaimer before. But I don't know about his coming anyway.
So you are Guinean too? Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Pewee say he's a Guinean too. So he's a double agent. Can you hear me? Pewee?
Yeah, you talking to the Guinean ambassador to Liberia coming on the show?
I may get it wrong. Maybe the Liberian ambassador to Guinea.
So probably you didn't get me. So I think I hope.
I think your uncle is coming.
You guys are left side of the sea, so now the sea can clog the ear, right? You can. So you got left side of the sea.
You gotta speak loud because
the face problem. But yeah, what I said. I heard you saying the Liberian ambassador to Guinea.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
He's the one then. But you can go ahead.
Yeah. We lay by the sea, so you gotta speak loud. You got the sea be making noise. the roaring of the sea. But either way, we're gonna have some clarity on what's happening at the port, at the Guinean border. And I've been scrambling and going over the different newspapers and the outlet, and there are two that caught my attention here. It says border shooting reportedly leaves Liberia injured at the Guinean troop occupied the disputed area in Lofa. And then the second headline, this one is Front Page Africa. The Liberian Daily Observer front page says, Waka consults legislature on emergency powers amid Guinean military incursion in Liberia. So these are the two major issues that we will be talking about. These two topics. The president of the Republic of Liberia has consulted with the House of Representatives for emergency powers amid Guinea military incursion on our land, our borders. And the other one is from Front Page Africa. It said border shooting reportedly leaves Liberia injured as Guinean troops occupied disputed area. And I'm going to read briefly this one from Front Page Africa. It says, according to Voice of Lofa, and I want Honorable Pewee to listen to this because we are quoting our sources here. This is from, according to the Voice of Lofa, a community radio station in Lofa County. The incident occurred on Wednesday today when Guinean troops reportedly discharged firearms during a confrontation near the contested boundary. Report gathered by the station indicate that a Liberian man was struck in the thigh during the shooting. He was quickly transported to Foya Hospital, where medical staff are providing treatment for his injury. Voice of Lofa also reported that following the gunfire, the Guinean soldiers advanced into the disputed location and raised their national flag, an action that has increased tension among residents living in the border community. Sources told the radio station that the confrontation began when the Guinean troops escorted a group of civilians from Guinea towards the disputed land in Liberia. The civilians were reportedly heading to the area following allegations that Guinean soldiers had earlier been mistreated by some individuals on the Liberian side. According to the report, Liberian youth attempted to block the civilians and the accompanying soldiers from Guinea from entering the territory of Liberia. The situation quickly escalated, leading the Guinean troops to fire several shots, one of which injured a Liberian resident. Voice of Lofa further indicated that the latest development may be connected to a previous dispute in which Guinean soldiers have been asked to remove the Guinean flag they earlier erected in the same contested area on the Liberian side. Residents of Solumba, Klein, are said to be concerned about the growing tension, while local authorities continue to observe the situation closely as calls increase for diplomatic intervention to prevent further escalation along the Liberian-Guinea border. This, what concerns me the most, the line that says, Liberian authorities are observing the situation. Several days now, we have had incursion in our territory in the Republic of Liberia. We reported and showed videos of Guinean soldiers confiscating machinery, earth-moving trucks, heavy-duty equipment, confiscated the equipment from Liberia, took it to Guinea. We also reported where the Guineans came into Liberia, took down the Liberian flag, and raised the Guinean flag. Where the government still observing after these things have happened. The management of this platform called the closing argument informed us that everything was under control. According to the sources from the Republic of Liberia, from the Liberian government. This is day number 3. Based on that, we got this released. This particular release from
Mr. Gayman, you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I just spoke to the ambassador. As Tony said, he will come. I don't think he will not have the time to join us direct on the show yet because his internet is really giving some problems. So I'm trying to call him direct. I will just try to see if I can arrange, put some money on my phone and call him direct because the internet is not doing well at all. So I will call him direct and then we will now engage with him. But Liberia ambassador appointed to Guinea-Conakry. So I will be talking to him.
And his name is?
His name is Honorable, not Honorable, His Excellency Fokpa Gizi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honorable Fokpa Gizi.
No, His Excellency. Ambassadors are excellencies.
Okay. His Excellency.
Yeah, Fokpa
Gizi.
Yes.
Is
going... I'm trying. I will be connecting with him very soon.
Excellent. So, you know, when we're talking about leadership, being proactive, leaders should be proactive. In the old Liberian parlance, and President Boyka should know this because he's old enough, that prevention is better than cure and is much, much cheaper. President Joseph Boyka has been in this business for too long. To allow this to continue, to allow this to even happen. President Joseph Boyka has minimum 42 years experience in government and governance. When he heard the rumor of war, which is now national security, which was national security, which will be national security. The president and his cabinet should have been in their own kitchen cabinet. The president and his men and women, even men and women, should have been in their cabinet, planning for the eventuality of what just happened. We talk about this. This is the third day we are talking about this. Now it has resulted to shots being fired, somebody being shot. And according to the Daily Observer, President Joseph Boyka consulting with the legislature on emergency powers amid Guinea military incursion in the Republic of Liberia. And this story is being carried by the Daily Observer, William Q. Hammer, and Leroy M. Sompon III. They are carrying this story. We are quoting our sources. We are giving you date and time and the author of these articles. While we wait for the ambassador, it says here, high-stakes national security debate is unfolding in Liberia as President Joseph Boyka, in his capacity as the president of the Republic of Liberia, is consulting with the legislature. Let me welcome Fanta. Fanta, welcome to the show.
Hello, Mr. Gayman. How are you doing today? Thank you.
I wanted to prove to you who I am. When I'm talking, I don't just talk. I talk. Look at me. I'm an official Fulani. I am Jerome. I know Al-Haji. That's what Al-Haji Jerome Gayman. That's me. So you don't mess with me.
Perfect.
Y'all don't mess with me. Welcome to the show.
It suits you so well. You fit right in.
Yes. When I'm in Liberia and I go to Center, I'm on Center Street. I'm on Benson Street, Girl Street. I'm a star.
You are a star. You just need a bazaar, you know.
That's right. I got it. But welcome to the show. Today is our Wednesday edition. For those of you who are on the other side, if you have completed your work day, you have gone over the hump, and we are just going over the hump. The week is almost over. So the week is almost over. Tomorrow is Thursday. We are cruising into the weekend. Welcome to the show, Fanta. How's the fasting going?
Alhamdulillah, as we say. You would think being without food for 10, 12 hours, 15 hours would be devastating, but thank God we don't even feel it. I don't even feel it. So it's such a spiritual moment. And this month is very much representative of that. And so I'm just so grateful. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Pewee, any update?
Yes. So without much ado, I'm putting myself in the protocol phone. I have on the line live from Monrovia. He's currently in country from Monrovia, the current Liberian ambassador, extraordinary and plenty potential to Guinea Conakry. Ambassador, His Excellency Fokpa Gizi on the phone. Ambassador, welcome to the closing argument. I hope everything is going well with you.
Okay.
Ambassador, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Actually, this is the closing argument. Before Mr. Gayman can come in, I'm just kicking it up from the introductory aspect. There has been some growing concern and very delicate and fluid diplomatic security situation unfolding at the Liberian Guinean border that has sparked some serious concern on the social media. And both seemed unarmed civilian Liberian citizens trying to host the flare of Liberia, trying to counter a Guinean crossing from the Mano River into the Liberian side of it, the Foya district side. So there's this growing concern of what is the current diplomatic and political security status of the whole case?
Well, you know, the situation at that border is a result of minor misunderstanding between the locals. The Bankona River is on the Guinean side, yes, but there has been no problem between Liberians and Guineans. The Liberians go and mine sand for their construction, you know, and they have a very good cordial relationship. Now, of late, a group of Guinean security men said that the Liberians were mining sand, the accused Liberians were mining sand, and more than mining sand and other minerals. The Liberians said, no, we are only on the river to mine sand. And there was this misunderstanding. The Guinean securities seized the working equipment of Liberians, and then Liberians saw these Guineans cross the river and planted their flagpole and raised their national flag. This angered the youth of Solomba. They went in return and brought the Guinean flag down and raised the Liberian flag. And what we are doing as a government is to reduce the temperature, the tension. Liberia and Guinea are like twins nursing on the same umbilical cord. You know, people who making remarks and comments on Facebook, oh yeah, let's go to war, they don't understand the historical link, they don't understand Guinea and Liberia are inseparable, to say the least. If you can recall, in 1959, Secretary acknowledged publicly, insanely, the support Liberia gave to Guinea during her struggle for independence for France, both diplomatic and otherwise, politically and diplomatically. It is also known that the Republic of Guinea opened our borders to thousands of Liberians during our civil crisis. For 40 years, Guinea hosted Liberian refugees and share one little they had. That's not all. Guinea sent troops to Ecomonk to help achieve peace in our country. A couple of Guinean soldiers died during peacekeeping in Liberia. So we are linked by many things, by history, by geography, by culture, by tribes. So people who think that, oh yeah, war is imminent, Guineans will never, the Guineans are not enemies of Liberia, and they will never be enemies of Liberia. Never. You ask what the diplomatic front. There are many things I cannot tell you now, but trust me, in the next 48 hours, you will see come. Our government has proactively taken steps to launch the diplomatic way, because violence has never produced any good result. Violence does not solve problems. Violence begets violence. We have that experience. Our government is in conversation with the other players of the Mano River Union. And in the next 48 hours or so, we are going to practicalize those behind-the-scenes negotiations, which I cannot divulge to you publicly. But trust me, the government, our government is at work. The diplomatic missions are dispatched in Conakry. We are talking. And when they talking, can resolve this kind of problem. And as I said, I consider this as just a minor misunderstanding. Guinea and Liberia will never be enemies. So, as we talk to you, Kami is now returning to the border. The Liberian young people who were brandishing machetes and single barrel guns, our police, the PSC is already there. They have asked them to return to their houses. The Guineans also have retreated. And we want to leave it at that until the diplomatic contacts gets on the ground and then solve the problem. And that's the only way you can solve this kind of problem, by talking, by dialoguing. And let me tell you something. Guinea is the only country in the world that is hosting 5 of the ethnic groups that are in Liberia. The Guineans have Mandingos, and we have Mandingos. The Guineans have Mano people. We have Mano people. The Guineans have the Kehleboe people in Liberia. The Guineans have the Kitty people in Liberia. The Guineans have the Roma people. The Roma people in Liberia. So what I'm telling you is that what I told you, that the Guineans and Liberians are twins nursing what they say umbilical cord. That's what I meant. So how will these people fight? We can't.
Okay.
And in fact, another element we added to it is during the war, many of our sisters got their life partners in Guinea. You have a lot of Liberian women who now have children in Guinea, and we can't fight. No, we are working, 24 hours to make sure that this problem does not degenerate into what people call it war. No, that cannot happen.
Yeah, but before I can bring in Mr. Gayman quickly, this is the last one from me. Have this issue been elevated to the presidential level? Have our president, by any chance, placed a call to his counterpart, Dumoya, in Conakry?
Yes, our president, I mean, he is an elderly statesman. He is in contact with His Excellencies, Alassane Ouattara, Madabio, his colleagues of the Mano River Union. You think when I tell you in the next 48 hours, you're going to hear the good news, you think what I mean?
But have you spoken to His Excellency Dumoya?
Listen, wait, in diplomacy, do you expect our president to say, okay, let me go on BBC? Yesterday, I called Alassane Ouattara at 2 a.m. So after he hang up, I'll call Madabio. No.
Okay.
You will see the fruits of the diplomatic work, but you will not hear the noise.
Okay.
Our president is working. He's talking to his colleagues, and his colleagues are talking to him. So they are trying to quench the fire. But don't think that the president is going to say, okay, BBC or Radio France International, you're listening to me. Yesterday I talked to Alassane. No, that's not how it works.
Okay.
No.
Mr. Gayman?
Thank you very much, His Excellency, for coming on the show. You talked about the border being secure. For us, this is day number 3. Like we all say, prevention is better than cure. We spoke about this on Monday. We spoke about this yesterday. And our reporters were on the border. There were no security. There were no LGEA. There were no military. So how can this government actually account to the Liberian people that a border that had no security, that had no personnel, is protecting its citizens?
You know, my brother, to deploy the army, it is that to deploy the army, you need the strategy, you need the plan of action, you need a clear order. What are they going to do? It's not like the police. You know, we have already deployed the police. The PSU is there, we 102, they are there, want to advance our citizens. They go to the Guineans. As I told you, there's no fighting right now at the border there. You know, the police is there. You don't deploy the AFL in that kind of situation. No, it doesn't warrant it. No, you don't just take the army and send them there. You see what the Guineans have agreed to ask their soldiers to retreat. You know, when a situation like this, you don't deploy the army. To deploy the army, there must be a clear order of mission. What are they going to do? No. And then the command structure. No, you don't just deploy the army like that, my brother. It's not as simple as people think. As with the police is already in the PSU. We have a very good contingent of our police at the border there. They are under the command of 102. And thank God our boys are listening to them. They're going to their houses. That's the last information I got. And I'm in touch with the people on the ground. So you don't just deploy. I really, you know, Facebook comments for Liberians. Wow, I'm doing. Now I'm being deployed. You don't deploy the army like that. The army, the police. When you training the army, clear mission. What are they going to do from this time to this time? We want this done. We want this achieved. So we are not reached that point. We are not war. What is army going to do there? Who do what thing?
Yeah, but Ambassador, my question is why there were no LGEA, there were nobody, no security force. There were nobody there representing the Republic of Liberia. That's a major crossing.
I wonder if some of you are aware that we have more than 500 kilometers of porous border between Guinea and Liberia. So from Slumber all the way to Gaza and beyond. And you know 500 kilometers of border. Sometimes in many places you walk, you see yourself in Guinea, you even know you're on the Guinean territory. These boundaries were not made by you. They were not made by Guinea. They were not made by Liberia. As I talk to you, I have under my hand the document that defined the boundary between Cote d'Ivoire and Liberia. It was written in 1892 by the first colonists, who at that time were the colonial masters from Guinea, from Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, which we call Upper Volta and so on. And they will determine who should be where. As I talk to you, half of my family is in Guinea. It's in Panama, where my mother comes from. I didn't tell them that it is the French who placed these boundaries. It is not Liberia, it is not Guinea. We are forced to live with what we didn't want. So, and unless we are mindful that these things were imposed on us, and that we Africans, we should come to our senses and realize that we are the same people. The Loma speak is the Loma that is spoken in Guinea, Pau, in Guinea women, in Guinea Kwayama. That's the Loma they speak. And the women from my hometown, Sisebo, on Mondays, they go to the market in Guinea and come back in the afternoon. They work in the team, what they call the coup. They join a group, a working group, to go to Guinea and work there and get to Liberia. That the people you're talking about going to war. You don't know the amount of work we are doing. I was awake until 1 o'clock last night, talking to authorities here and there to make sure so they understand. What we understand, not many people understand that. They say, oh, why the people do it? They want to say, Amen. Let the people tell people, Amen. When you say the Amen, you know why you So, my brother, trust me, we are not sleeping. We will not let these things degenerate into full-fledged conflict. No. Humanity say, Ima, what to know? Our master, no, that kind of thing we allow them to generate.
Thank you very much, Excellency. I have Fanta here. Fanta Kamara, your first question to our ambassador. You are muted.
But no, I didn't understand your question, sir.
Oh, yeah, she's
Yes.
coming.
Greetings, Ambassador. Can you hear me okay? How are you?
I'm okay.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today. I have a couple of questions for you. The first one is we've learned that the genesis of this conflict was derived or misunderstanding, as you put it, was derived from illegally dredging or illegally mining sand and minerals in a shared resource to build or to do the construction of the presidential Foya mansion or the presidential mansion in Foya. That is being done, I believe, by a contractor called BK Enterprise or BK something. Why did not secure approval from our Guinean counterparts? They are our brothers and sisters. It could have been a simple conversation. Why did it not think to have that discussion with our Guinean counterparts to avoid any type of conflict of such? Because then when you have the youth or people who are unfamiliar with, say, if an agreement was established and see Guinea reacting and they have no prior knowledge, so they too are being reactive, it could have resulted in a situation much bloodier. So having a conversation to secure that simple approval, I think would have been really beneficial in sort of quelling or avoiding all of what has become so contentious. Why do you think that didn't happen? Or why didn't that happen?
Well, I have under my hand a document that is an agreement that was signed between the locals or the Guinean authorities and the Liberians in Foya in Solomba regarding the sand mining. They allowed the Liberians in this document. They allowed Liberians to mine sand in the river and Une sand. The Guineans are a bit suspicious that in addition to sand mining, the Liberians mine maybe mining other minerals, and they abruptly breached the contract, the agreement. They say, yeah, we agree that you mine our sand, but it looks like you're mining predatory now, so I got to pay you must stop. In breach of their own agreement, I have a copy of the agreement, written agreement.
Could you please share that with TCA? Thank you.
I can send you a copy. The only thing is in French. I can send you a copy.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said again, you know, I agree to come on your show to allay the fears of Liberians, both at home and abroad. That this thing is not going to degenerate into war. And I want to be a bit cautious in delving into the details and the integrity of this matter, because we are doing a lot of work behind the scenes. At the proper time, I will come to your show please allow me to be a little bit conservative. I wouldn't want to delve into the details of what we are doing and what the Guineans have told us, what we have told in the last hour, the next 2 hours, what they have told us, and what we are proceeding. Please, I know that you want to hear, you are excited, you are Liberians, you want to know, but when you are working this matter, this delicate matter, you try hard. When you are in the public domain, you try hard to speak what is going to be spoken, but again, be very mindful of releasing details that could hurt the process, you know. So please, well, I've disappointed you. I didn't tell you why you wanted to hear.
No. I can appreciate and understand this sensitivity around the ongoing discussions, and of course, the connection between the two countries is an unbroken bond. As you clearly mentioned, Liberia and Guinea are truly brothers and sisters from the same womb. So it is completely understandable in your efforts to resolve what has become this conflict, but could have been avoided if Liberia or if the contract was just absolutely clear and the appropriate approvals were received and documented, and most importantly, I think honored, right? And not going beyond to then suggest or give any impression that a breach was happening. The other question I have for you is, and we'll certainly want for you to come back after all of this is resolved so you can get into the details, because this has been a public matter. It's quite sensitive and the public is very much invested. I'm sure you can understand why they need to understand the nitty-gritty of what exactly happened, so we can all be able to level set. If we ever find ourselves in similar situation, we can use this as a reference. The other question I have for you is that you mentioned, and I really appreciate your level of quantifying the massive land, right? Like the land mass, the border land mass. So thank you for that. I believe you mentioned 500 kilometers. Yet our immigration, who is primarily responsible, say, for border activities, their budget sits at 10 million, while our NSA sits at 22 million. And our budget for AFL, which the Army, which in, say, conflicting situation will be deployed to assist them, sits also at 18 million. Ambassador, quickly, do you think there should be reallocation? Should some of the NSA budget really go towards the immigration and the Army?
Well, I think this matter will be resolved, and they are done to resolve this conflict. We're going to go beyond that. We're going to do everything possible so that you can be recurrent of this kind of thing. And as I said, there's something, madam, you need to understand. These boundaries were not made by Guinea, but by Liberia. We are working. I was just talking to my colleagues, the Guinean ambassador to Liberia. I asked him, can they help us with the document the French people used to determine to the border between Liberia and Guinea, because the colonists, before they left Africa, before they granted independence of these countries, they are the ones who determine the borders. I just have a copy
and I really want to respect your time here, because I know.
Just a minute. I'm calling the ambassador direct, so we got
right.
Yeah,
I really want to. Right, I'm going to be very quick.
2 questions each.
I don't want to take much time on one person and then go up. It's direct.
I understand. I'm not asking another question. I want to respect the ambassador's time. I understand the colonial lines were drawn by the colonial masters. That's not what I'm asking. My question is, which is very specific. I want to respect the ambassador's time and give you guys the opportunity as well. Should part of the NSA budget go towards immigration?
Trust me, ambassador will not comment on that. He's an ambassador. He will not comment on that.
It's a question for the Liberian people. We want to know.
Before he avoided it, we'll have time on this.
Yeah, but we want to know. It doesn't.
Let's move on. I want to ask my two questions.
Okay, let me welcome Dr. Peabody and Tomalin George. Dr. Peabody, real quick.
Ambassador, can you hold on 1 minute, please? Another question coming for you, please.
Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Peabody.
Ambassador, nice. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Ambassador.
We need to get his attention.
I think there's a delay.
If you not reach a logical conclusion, you will have recurrence. So when this is done, we will want to have a clear demarcation of where does Liberian soil stop. Liberian land stops here. The Guineans only stop right here. And that's the kind of thing we are pushing.
Okay.
And as I said again, please, Madam, please, I wouldn't want to really delve into the things we are discussing behind the scenes. I will be glad to come back to you. I know you say, oh, well, damn, but you are waiting the questions.
You have to come back, because I definitely want you to that.
That's our profession. I will try to be a little bit cautious with you. I'm glad you invited me on your show. My objective in this show was for all Liberians and all the friends of Liberia to know that we will not allow a little misunderstanding, fine mining to go to war. We are responsible government. We'll make sure that doesn't happen.
Okay.
That's the message I wanted out.
Yeah.
As for the rest, please,
Ambassador, one more question.
Allow me to disappoint you.
Ambassador, one more question.
Go ahead.
Is he
Go
still
ahead,
there?
Peabody.
Yeah, go ahead, Peabody. Go ahead.
Ambassador, thank you very much. I think your presence here has given the Liberian people some hope, have assured us that we are in a cordial relationship with our brothers and sisters in Guinea. This is what the Liberian people wanted to hear, and I think your voice here tonight has given a lot of assurance, because there is no need for Liberians to go into any kind of war. I don't think it's what either side was thinking on. But let me ask you, what have you guys done so far since the whole thing happened? How have you engaged the people at the border, our Liberian brothers, and as well? How have you engaged them?
If I have engaged them,
how? What have you done to engage them to calm the tension or reassure them that
the Liberian government? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I am in direct telephone conversation with Sabondo. Sabondo is the general town chief of Solomba. He and I have been talking, and then the chief, the youth leader, Afre, I have been talking to them, I've asked them, and my brother, we have to be talking to those people. Remember, most of these young people are just fresh from the Civil War. So when the year goes on, they're going to run to. People can run away from home when the year goes on to run there. So I'm indirect. I didn't see about 1 o'clock last night. I want to tell you. Telling them, say, no, this is not war. Remain calm, go to your houses. We are working. I'm talking to them. I'm in straight line with them.
Thank you, Ambassador. I will just kind of use my time to Tomalin, since you don't have much time. Let Tomalin go ahead with his question.
Hey, Ambassador, so thanks again for coming. The last question. So is there any a pending meeting with the Manor Union? Is there a meeting scheduled?
Yes, the meeting is scheduled. I think I said that in the next 48 hours, there will be a summit of the Mano River Union head of state on this issue. Not just to resolve this crisis, I've told you, what can we do to prevent this type of crisis? You know, because of these boundaries that were imposed on us. Are we going to allow boundaries that were imposed on us to always be in conflict with each other? No. So that will be brought on the table. As I said again, our principals will be meeting. The head of state of the Mano River Union will be trashing out this problem and make sure that you remember about a month ago, there was a similar problem between Guinea and Sierra Leone again. And so this boundary that we're giving us, my brother, is the problem. Where I come from, I don't know if you know Lufa County. Where I come from, half of my hometown families have their origin in town called Kwema. You have Mabosu quarter in Kwema. You have Mabosu quarter in Peabody. You have the Sobe quarter in Kwema. You have Sobe quarter in Peabody. So it's delicate, my brother. So the question is, these boundaries that were imposed on us, are we going to erase it from our mind and live in peace with each other, or are we going to use it to be getting at each other's throat? That question is ours to solve it, to know that, look, we know what happened to us. Now we have come of age. We are mature. At least 60 years in independence now. So we should find a way to make sure that the one they impose on us should not continue to divide us. That's the thing we are working on.
So we're gonna be assured that everything is calm now. There will be no more escalation of the conflict. It's calm, right? We are sure that everything is calm.
Yeah.
Okay. Ambassador, are you there?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah. I was saying you can assure the Liberian people and everyone that everything is calm at the border now. There will be no escalation, right? Everything is calm.
Too many go back and say, yeah.
People can talk. Ask my question, man.
Yeah.
The line.
Yeah, his question actually, his last point was that if you patent us tonight, can you assure us that everything is now calm and things will be finally resolved in the 48 hours time?
Oh yes. The signals we are receiving from Conakry are heartwarming.
Okay.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Before we let you go, finally, what is the current status of the diplomatic relation between Guinea and Liberia? Cordial.
Yes.
Thank you very closely, Ambassador. Excellency Fokpa Gizi, live on the line from Monrovia. Thank you and congratulations on the occasion of your wedding. Congratulations, Ambassador.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations, Honorable. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. When I come to Lofa, I want my Tobagi. No Tobagi.
And they put on Facebook to get you the beans. They are specialized in the beans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, for coming on. We look forward to meeting you when we come to Liberia.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, the ambassador is trained. He's a trained physician also. A very trained physician, yes.
So I can eat all I want. I don't gotta worry about anything. I get sick, he would take care of me.
And he headed before the Alliance Française. He was the former head of Alliance Française also before, and the rest of that. So he's trained. He did a lot of turning up very much great and a lot of things on that. So thank you, Ambassador. So gentlemen, back to you people. We just run out of time. I left with just 2 more minutes for all this, and I think we finish on time to aim 35 minutes time.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, back to you, Mr. Gayman.
Listen, gentlemen, thank you very much for bringing the ambassador on, and we want to extend our appreciation to the ambassador for coming on a very short notice.
Mr. Gayman, before you continue, you know, for that question, you know, Lavi, Father got honest, Father get political, you will be. Ambassador will not answer the kind of question.
Yeah, that's about the intro.
I mean, answer that question intro. You will not answer.
Listen,
I mean, ambassador, man. No ambassador will talk. No ambassador will go into that. Everywhere the way ambassador will skip that thing.
The man get watching. The man coming up. He boss everybody watching.
Yes,
you know, we are glad. Hopefully, we can get more of them. But we one of the things we talk about later on. He said 2 things that I took notice of and would address them after the event. I want you guys to be on notice. The border, he says, is colonial. It was imposed on us. We're going to discuss that. Not today, but when you guys will take that to heart.
No, we can take some time. It's important.
Yeah, I understand. It will take some digging. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
we can
it will
do
take some digging. Because if you dig after, people would think that, and he's right. People would think that we went beyond the Masanta side. They said before that was considered Liberian land. But when the French came, and the French people inhabited that land eventually, when they now went through the process of colonizing Guinea, they turned that side of it to Guinea. And that's why you see most of... Now, Mr. Gayman, just look at the nature of how we are intertwined. And as the ambassador stated, the Loma, the Pere, the Mandingos, the Gisi, the Bandi, the Gisi, and that of the Mano from the other side, but particularly from the side of Lofa and that end. So, I mean, there's a lot of side, and it's true. And the way the colonial master did it, and we didn't do at the time in terms of these things, that this, okay, this side is this. You're right, we have to take a whole time to dig and come back to some of those historical issues relative to that.
Dr. Peabody, from what I'm hearing from the ambassador, it will follow his thought, his line of thinking. It looks like he is suggesting that we abandon all the borders and we just go back to being one people. So what happened to our sovereignty? What happened to our statehood?
Well, what the ambassador did for me is that he reassured Liberia that we are not at war with Sierra Leone. With Freetown. With Guinea. He reassured Liberians there could be just some, he talked about the sand. They were giving lesson to do one thing, and it went in there with intention of doing different thing. And this kind of angered the Guinean, and they were mad and stuff like that. But I don't think, from what I heard from the ambassador, I don't think it has anything to do with us giving away our sovereignty or somebody coming over. He talked about Liberian being twins. He said we got the Guinea Pele, we got the Guinea Mana, we got different groups. We are one people. We have one of the most cordial relationships ever in the history. So this is not something for people to blow up. And I can say, Mr. Gayman, I think the ambassador message now was to reassure Liberians that we're not at war, because there are some people because they do not understand that when you oppose, it doesn't mean that you should support any negative thing. And there are some Liberians who will be happy to see this thing go on, or Liberia and Guinea get into a conflict and think it benefits them because of them being on the other side. I think what we need now, Liberia have been through a long time of war. People don't want anything like war coming to our country and people fighting, because right now if we get into a war, we will be done. The international community will pay a less attention. We see all the conflict that are going on in Iraq, other countries. You don't want to get into war. You don't even have an army to fight. That's what we should look at. You don't have no army to fight Guinea. Okay, let Fanta lay a lot. These people got over 13,000 strong men. They can walk into Liberia any day from different areas. It will not stop them. But what we need here is we need peace. We're not at war. So let's be reassured. And the ambassador said it rightly, that things are working. They are working in the background. I said this 2 days ago, that we need real diplomacy to take place here. And that's what it's doing. That's what we need. We shouldn't make it look bad that the government is not good. I oppose this government in many areas, but not something that will bring stability to Liberia that I will support. And what I think here is, I think we in Guinea, we are one family. And we just need to resolve this amicably on a diplomatic level. I don't think it has to do with our sovereignty and why we ain't got no sovereignty. Honestly, we have no sovereignty. We are giving our sovereignty a long time ago. You right in there, and Lebanese people have taken over all the economy. They ain't talking about sovereignty. Liberians can't even be manager in hotels owned by a foreigner. That we're talking about sovereignty. Come on, excuse me.
Well, Tomalin George, okay, I guess he's on the phone. Fanta,
got me by fire today.
what I see going on here is basically we will become stateless if we follow the trend of thought that this border don't matter because they were imposed on us. So if Guinea comes in tomorrow and says, listen, to cut this thing off, y'all go back a little bit, y'all go back to Nima, and then y'all give us this. We say, okay, we agree. Then the Ivorian come and say, you know what, you give us Kipamas because it was, Maryland County were part of it. We agree. Sierra Leone Council give us Cape Mount. So, I mean, from what you guys are saying, we should be stepless. I don't like this kind of thought.
Yeah. So this is another research I've been doing for a little bit now, and the broader consensus amongst Africans continent-wide is this united Africa, one Africa. And we so desperately want that to happen. If you ask any African, do you want a one Africa? They will absolutely jump and say, yes, we do. The reality of that happening is far-fetched. It is definitely not in our lifetimes, probably not in any of our lifetimes. They said never belongs to God. So we'll leave that there because there are just too many, as they say, just to simplify it, right? To simplify these complicated geopolitical tenets. There are too many cooks in the kitchen. You have too many influences. You have too many players in each of our ears, right? And the sitting governments, the sitting administrations are benefiting directly from those relationships. So imagine you suggest a reversion to the Malian Empire that encompassed Guinea and Senegal and Liberia and, so I said, all of the countries or most of the countries in the sub-Saharan, right? Let's say we then push that ideology of those reversion. Let's go back to the Malian Empire, right? They were great, they were powerful. Let's go back to the Songhai Empire. Let's go back to the Gold Coast, right? What is going to be the aptitude, the acceptance rating for such reversion? First of all, the influences, the masters, as we put it, will never allow such thing to happen. I mean, we're seeing even with the Francophone countries, they have been under French colonial rule, even though most of them have quote unquote gotten their independence, their currency is still backed, like it's still very much France. Their treasury sits in Paris. How is it that you have all of the Francophone countries, larger countries than Liberia, much larger than Liberia in terms of everything, landmass, economy, and yet they have not been able to remove themselves from under a single country rule? France still rules Senegal, Burkina Faso, maybe they're pushing them out, but Guinea, as we clearly see, Mauritania, all the Francophone countries. Imagine saying, okay, Liberia, so you have the French, then you have the Americans with Liberia. Imagine having that conversation. Is it then going to be that NATO controls the Malian Empire? So if France and the US agrees, then we then report, into the NATO leadership. We have to sort of do whiteboarding sessions on these things. Let's truly play it out. What is it going to look like before we even start thinking about, we should start erasing borders? The possibility of that, it's nice, right? It's nice to speak about it. It gives you this warm feeling, but in actuality, it can never happen. We will never see a united Africa. We will never see the Malian Empire again. We will never see the Songhai Empire. We will never see the Gold Coast. Never. And then you talk about the central region and the eastern region. You have Somalia. Somalia or Somaliland is saying, no, I don't want to be a part of Somalia. I want to form my own country. So I'm going to break away from Somalia and call myself Somaliland. You have Sudan saying, no, I cannot be a part of Sudan as a country. I want to be called South Sudan. How many years from now are we going to see North Sudan? So you're going to have one country, North Sudan, and South Sudan. You're going to have Somalia. You're going to have Somaliland, Somalia, maybe another version. You're going to have Ethiopia that now has Eritrea. You have South Africa that has Eswatini, another country within another country. I hope you understand. I know this gets a little bit complicated, But I hope you understand the level of complexities that are involved here. So as much as it's a warm feeling that, oh, yes, we should kumbaya, it would never happen. It would never happen.
Excellent.
We will always, and that does not remove our brotherly and sisterly love for our neighbors, because we are just that, right? Like my father family hails from Sierra Leone. My mother family hails from Mali and Guinea. I can never remove myself. You can, the Liberian, any single Liberian who traces their ancestry, we're all from the Malian Empire. We're all related. You are my cousin, Mr. Gayman, which is why when you put this like hat on, you look like one of my uncles. I'm like, wow, is that Uncle somebody?
Bingo! I told them they don't believe when I tell them. Listen, Tomalin George, are you available?
Yeah, he's out.
Oh, he's out. Okay. Pewee, let's talk about this. So I'm a little confused here. When the president went to consult the legislator for emergency power, is that how it works?
In terms of what? I need to.
I'm reading the release here from the article here from the Daily Observer on the front page. Bouaka consult legislature on emergency power amid Guinea military incursion, and it went on to say the consultation followed report that Guinean troops crossed the border into Lofa County, removed the Liberian flag, and hoisted the Guinean flag at the Solomba border point, asserting control over approximately 100 acres of territory that Liberian authorities maintain lies within. Guinean authorities said lies within the Liberian sovereignty border.
Yeah.
Why? The president.
Absolutely.
Why does he need emergency power? Does he have the power as president of the country to deal with these issues?
Absolutely. But before I can get to that quickly, I think Fata said some things that is very important and it's profound also, and I agree. But that's an extraordinary debate, and it by itself needed some deeper sober reflection and research, and to put the broken pieces together to know. So you will understand Fata first and foremost, but we will discuss it another day and on a serious note, because why we have South Sudan today or Sudan. The Sudanese people just repressed those from the other side of it. They got all of the resources and they were being debased, marginalized, treated in the disdain manner. So if you give room to those kind of things, you give opportunity for people to if you went back to most of those other countries. But that's another debate. But it's important that Africa will have to reassess itself and understand why we still struggling for some of these things. But back to the emergency power situation of the president. Yeah, the president is very correct. I think the president is acting in keeping with the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. So, Mr. Gayman, if you were to take some time later on, go back to Article 57 of our Constitution.
I'm looking at the Article 86.
Go back.
Article says the president may, in consultation with the Speaker of the House of Representatives and the President pro tempore or the Senate, proclaim and declare the existence of a state of emergency in the Republic of Liberia or any part thereof. Then it said the Constitution states that such emergency power may only be invoked where there is a threat or outbreak of war or civil unrest affecting the security or well-being of the Republic.
Yeah.
And amounting to a clear and present danger. But this is the one that is very important that Liberians need to know the president is asking for. Once declared, the president may temporarily suspend the Constitution, basically, suspend or limit certain rights and exercise emergency power necessary to address the crisis subject to constitutional limitation. This is my fear.
Yeah, so we did that, and the reason why I've told you, you read that aspect, but I want to tell you to also, if you were to read Article 57, is about conducting the foreign affairs. You have to do it in consultation with the legislature. But yes, the issue about suspending the Constitution, we have not reached that level yet. It can be done, but it will have to be done in the period. And the Constitution did not leave a vacuum. They did spell out the time frame the president would declare that that state of emergency and suspend certain rights. But in the wake of suspending those rights, there are certain rights that can still not be trampled with according to the Constitution. But yes, the president was right to engage. These kind of matters as they unfold, they have not reached the crisis proportion for now. Is within the limit of the president to just converge with the legislature to see if it's possible. Now, the level we will reach for state of emergency to be declared is where in the country is in the present state of danger and serious threat to our national security. That does not represent or reflect. If I didn't have the art of these things that I have now, I would say no, it does not yet represent a potential threat or imminent danger to the states on a serious. It does not. So the president is just having what we call preparatory discussions with the House to familiarize himself with them and build the rapprochement with them so that in the event of things that will require their interventions, then he will move to do that. I think he acted in a more presidential way, and I think we want to commend the president for doing that, and it's the way he's trying to handle. And on the other end of it, also, the ambassador mentioned a lot of things. And as Mr. Gayman, you were asking to Dr. Peabody if we're trying to relinquish our border. No, that it's not what the ambassador meant. What's the ambassador trying to say, Mr. Gayman? You live in a beautiful home in Florida, and I guess you got some very great neighbors. And those neighbors you have, they agree that your kids and the other family and the kids in the other place will normally meet and play. But today they're playing on your side of the land. There's a boundary between the two properties, if you will. But there's something what to spark. What do you do? The two parents will do. It made them want to move to say, hey, there's no boundary between us. We will have to do everything to just play. I just trying to reduce it to that way so you understand what the ambassador meant. Listen, man, you say you, my children, and you contact your body on the other side. Hey, our children will have to now say nobody got boundary here. We all have to meet. Because the two set of kids from your side and my side, we are living on just a common boundary. That sometimes the ball will run to my yard or run to your yard. So that's what he meant. And beyond that, culturally, we so intertwined in terms of our culture, in the way we examinate and all those things, basically. So it's done in the way and manner those things will happen. We all, as Fatah was saying, we all got some link across. Master got some link from Guinea and the rest of that. The current president of the Republic of Liberia got some link for Freetown, Sierra Leone. If you were to tie all of these things in, and you get to understand those things are unfolding in the region, we come out to now to just say, hey, how can we mitigate this issue? Can we, as Peabody rightly stated, we don't have the room to go to war with Guinea. But beyond that, even if we had the room to go to war with Guinea, we have more priority issue to construct road, build hospitals, schools, and for our people. So the diplomacy that we had before, and the ambassador stated something, in the 50s, when we came about this issue about Sekou Touré at the time and William V.S. Totman, they were best of buddies. You understand, clearly, when the AU at the time, not the AU, the African Union, the Organization of African Union, the establishment of it came from Sani Kule. It was clear. It was then the president of Guinea, the president of Liberia, and I have the president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, Sekou Touré, and William V.S. Totman. These three Pan-Africanists were the one that brought the push, the momentum, and the process for the establishment of the Organization of African Unity. Today is the Organization of African Union. So you see, if those things started and alone, and as you said, we got more than 500 long, porous kilometers of border line, and that was stretched out taken up from the Zosa district side, between the Yeda town from where I'm from, linking all the way going through from the Masanta side, the Foya side, the Masanta side, the Foya side, and stretching towards that. It's vast, very. And Mr. Gayman, I'm pushing you, and before we can join your campaign in Grand Bassa County, your next visitation to the country, I'm going to push that you visit Lofa.
Breaking news. Tomalin, you hear it, man?
But we got a lot of people contesting, and I don't know, a lot of people harboring nursing for the Senate and the House of Representatives on this platform. So you see, this platform,
business. I don't
know. This platform is going to produce the next senator of Moserado and the next representative of Grand Bassa County. But Mr. Gayman, on a serious note, I will encourage you to actually visit Lofa, and you will appreciate And you will say, even if we have a military that is 45, we cannot deploy them to all the points. No, it's not possible. Because you walk and cross and now you're into Guinea, you don't know, you still believe you're into Liberia. Because some of those areas are not just land, you just walk and cross. Right? Some of the boundary will be water. That, for instance, between the Resort District and the Koyaman side of it is a river they call the Munuye River. That you see that boundary, but other areas you only see that. Right? But again, if you are to visit those areas, that was the ambassador trying to say, hey, we try to engage and resolve these things. And it's good that at least they have taken it to the Monterey UN level now, because it's a delicate situation. That's why when I first started as ambassador, I posed a diplomatic question to him. It's a very political and delicate situation that we have to handle, because if there's a threat for any Liberian that want to come and destabilize the country, it will want to use I don't want to use Guinea, Cote d'Ivoire, or Sierra Leone. And that's why the 4 countries now, Cote d'Ivoire is currently part of the MRU now. It was first 3 countries of the Monterey UN Basin. It was Liberia was funded then, way back, was Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea. Cote d'Ivoire now joined. So we have 4 countries. And the reason of that is to further foster security in the region, in the Monterey region, because you remember Charles started his war within that same region, the Monterey UN region, right? So they believe that it is not good. And Cote d'Ivoire helped Mr. Taylor and his rebel group to do that. The Saudi government helped Seleke Kromah and his Unimoke group to come and march up those kind of insurrection back to the country. So it's a combination of all of these things that we try to avert, and by averting those things is to deploy the best diplomatic tools, and that tools is to shuttle diplomacy, and the shuttle diplomacy process has now been deployed. They will shuttle between those 4 countries, and they will come out with some resolution. I think we close to doing that.
Excellent. Let me welcome Joseph Sally. Welcome, Joe. Listen, be careful, because every time you come on here, you fall down. I don't know why you're always falling down. Sometimes you can't. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Gill.
Okay, let me welcome Sarah. Sarah, welcome. I like the new hairdo. You know, I observe all the beautiful women. I observe.
Thank you, Mr. Gayman. Thank you so much. And I want to say hi to all of our folks here on the panel. Hi,
Sarah, not come from Liberia.
I mean, why you
worry about my life?
They may left fighting business. Don't listen to me.
You know when you put fat on me, you know I get sugar fat out. That's
Tomalin.
Okay, I get your medicine now. Trust me.
Listen, Tomalin, in Liberia and Massa in particular, we have a parable. They say he or she who have been burned by hot water is afraid of any kind of water. You don't want to try and say whether it's hot. We, those who are old enough, we knew and we still remember Degree 88. We remember when the Dopoh government suspended the Constitution and they began to do whatever they could. This is why when we see the president is now engaging to get the emergency power, and that power includes suspending some of our civil rights, the Constitution. For those of us that have experienced it before, we know what it is. We know how dangerous it is. It scares the hell out of us. We said this before when Honorable Basin was doing this thing about Prophet Key. You were on this platform. We told you this is not about Prophet Key. Now, on Monday, you saw exactly what the Supreme Court Chief Justice was after. He is saying now, anything said on social media that offends people will be illegal because we have a legal precedent from the Supreme Court. And he quoted his own case. So I'm kind of worried. I know you were in Liberia when we had a constitutional suspension and how it was deadly on people. We are seeing this again, that the president is consulting to have that power. Tomalin, you muted.
Yeah, Mr. Gayman, Honestly, I think, like the ambassador said earlier, I don't think this crisis has rise to the level where the president will be trying to exert himself such power. I think what he did yesterday was to consult the legislature, the first branch of government, to invite them to talk about what's happening, so they can hang head. They are the one who run the country right now, so to hang head about what's happening. And so I don't think I mean, we're not in a military situation right now where it was a military government where he will suspend the constitution and grant itself the power and authority that is not within his scope. I think he just decided to consult them just to keep them in the loop and so forth, because we have not experienced crisis for a long time, and the little crisis at the border, everyone's panicking. Everybody, like today, somebody, I mean, I don't know how true is this, but that's what I heard today, right? That couple of months ago, there was a Guinean dissident in our prison. He was in our country, and this very government, at the time, a military government in Guinea, requested for that guy to be turned over to them. And what it did, I don't know how true is it, but it gave Liberia, I think, 20 pickups. So
10.
Yeah, okay. They get their vehicles and so forth. And this guy was turned over. His lawyer is Kabina Jana was his lawyer, and Justice Jana. And so, with that in mind, we don't know what it's all about. But that's something that we need to still investigate. What happened to that young man? I need to get Kabina Jana to tell us what happened to that man, whether he's alive or not. But I think it was not fair to his family and to on humanitarian basis to him to be turned over to the Guinean military junta. I think the government Liberia, I think they violated his rights and so forth. But with this question about the president's meeting with the lawmakers, the speaker and others, I think he did it just to keep them in the loop. But I don't think they have risen to the level where they would now seek, like, if you suspend the constitution, the only thing he can suspend is the rate of habeas corpus. I think I'm told habeas corpus. He cannot. Only thing he cannot take. But I don't think we reach to that point. And I think it will be a pushback from the opposition. Everybody will push back, because if you give this government that power right now, trust me, all the perceived enemies, especially our CDC friend, will go after them quick. Because they'll say, yeah, the people that they want that, they're just throwing our flesh. So
what kind of power are you talking about, Tomalin?
No, he's saying that the president was trying to get a power where he was suspended the constitution.
Tomalin, tell the people when you come to class late, just sit back and listen.
we're very far away from that.
Well, I'm but let him learn now. Let him learn.
I think Ambassador Fokpa Gizi, I think he allayed the fears. He was relaxed. He was very measured talking tonight, and he said it clear. They've been talking. And I'm sure, I think he said Mara Bio, who is the current chairman of ECOWAS, they are all been discussing. And I think the Liberian government, I'm sure they are working through the right channels. But again, we just pray and hope that the situation at the border, our northern border, will be calm. And Liberians, what we experienced during the war, you have anything about war, military, anything about arm, you get nervous. So you want to take that risk. But I don't think the president will ask for that power, Mr. Gayman. I don't think so.
Okay. Mr. Sally, welcome to the show. You are on the ground.
And before that, Mr. Gayman, I'm sorry. Well, Mr. Salis will be going to Lofa tomorrow to the area. So we're trying to just imagine the budget for the men at just 150. So if anybody can just
you can handle that thing, money, man. I saw you putting out there, Charlie. You can handle that thing. Someone told me this year you spend a lot of money in Georgia, man. So the balance package you spend it.
I thought you serious about.
But the man talking serious too.
Tomalin, tell the man you spend all the money, so we gotta get it.
They may going to go 500 million live from there. 150. I'm sure we can raise that money tonight to tell the man get him going in the morning. Let it give a live what really happening there. Independent coverage. So it won't be they say. So so later on, at least We can try to get that guy at 150 so he can get. He can go tomorrow morning. The police already, other guys already pressed the pool already gone. Let TCA go there tomorrow. Pewee, I'm sure you said that you would take care of it. Anyway,
Sally, you on the ground. What are you hearing? We are seeing things. We are hearing things. People have been talking to us. In fact, here, someone just sent in a note that yes, the police, the ETU, whatever they call them, they are there, but they are not on the border. They are housing in the city. They went over there because the issue is at the border, but they are in the city. Nobody's at the border. I mean, people are reporting these things. You're taking what you hearing on the ground.
Yeah, let me say thank you. It's a good thing being on the show again. When this whole thing started Monday, you had a lot of fears, especially among Liberians, and especially when you had just 2 months ago, you had a group of people who came, and there are a lot of Liberians who were classifying them to be, people from either Boko Haram or Hezbollah. And I can remember Myean and myself, we decided to really get to the bottom of that. And when we went to the place where they were lodging, and we, got to understand that these were the people who just came, to prepare other Muslims for the fast. And when the whole thing started, you had other people trying to, give their own side of story to it. But I think it's something that is so alarming. Like the president has met, members of the House of Representatives, both Senate and the House of Representatives, trying to explain to them on some of these situations. Like today, I spoke with one or two because, I should have been there. But when he and myself talk, he told us that they have a scouting team at Ebola. And their team they had was just in Vonjama. But they have to, bring people from Monrovia that will, serve as a backup for the team that they have in Lofa. So they have a scouting team right now at Ebola. And the armed forces of Liberia will be leaving early tomorrow morning too. And at least for now, things is very calm. We spoke with one or two people there, some of our friends within the media, and they assure us that things, is a little bit calm. Yes, you still have fears, within residents from that territory, but for now, things are much better.
Excellent. Sarah, I know you've been following the story, you've been reading because it's been going on since Monday. This is where we are. I picked up on this when the Daily Observer is reporting that what is under consideration is Article 86 of the Liberian Constitution, that the president needs to consult with the houses, and then if there's an emergency, the president should be given the power to suspend the Constitution, suspend some rights, and run the country. And some of us that have been there before say that's too much power to be in the hands of one person. It's deadly. So we try to raise the red flag here. I'm trying to.
Yeah, there are a lot of people, who have given different views, especially politicians, giving their own side of it, because there are a lot of people who will see things, from different angles, especially where you have a country that is so much charged with politics. There are a lot of people who will come and give their own position statement. But I don't think, we have reached that point where, we will see Liberia getting to that stage where the president will have that, majority power, where it would just be like a decree now. But, even though there are a lot of people who don't have confidence within their lawmakers, especially from the lower angle, whether you hear one man call himself speaker, regime speaker, or who would just allow everything that will come from the president to be passed. But I think from the leg mans of all the representatives who are there will not, maybe they will try to see things from a different angle, but I don't think, Liberia can reach to a stage where everything will just be like a decree from the president.
Okay, Sarah, your take. Sarah, you're talking to yourself.
No, I said I want to say hi to everyone and to our brothers and sisters in the comment section. Say hi. Like he said, I don't think it has reached to that point where the president should have executive whatever absolute power, whatever the word is. I think the diplomatic way of solving it is also good, but also they need to deploy people at the border because with a situation like that, we need the army to be there in order to protect our side of the land. If the army was there this morning, I don't think that guy was going to be shot. There was a guy that I heard that was shot. I don't think the Guinean army are going to be brave enough to shoot over there because they know that was going to be a clear provocation and that could spark something. But because they saw a whole lot of civilians over there, so they took advantage of the situation. And I'm also sitting here thinking, if it was the previous government, what would have been the propaganda today? What would have been the propaganda of our brothers on the other side who were in opposition? What would have been their line of thought? But as we all know, Liberia remains our country, and when it comes to a situation like this, we all have to come together and put heads together to see what best we can all offer in terms of lasting solution for our people. And so I want to say bravo to the president for the diplomatic side of the discussion, but also they need to deploy the army down there with some hot water trucks to make sure that nothing funny happen again.
Hot water truck. Okay, Fanta. Let's end this topic, then we can move on. But we needed to spend some time on this, and we're gonna get the diplomat, His Excellency Gisi. We're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt when he comes back. Hopefully he does. He can answer some of these questions. He says he's going to call the French government to give us the original document when the demarcation was made. To me, that was frightening. That you telling me that a nation as old as Liberia, we do not have that document in our archive. So we don't know where we begin and where we end. But we don't want to be critical, or we want.
Wait, I'm sorry, but did he say that the land is for them? Mr. Gayman?
No, he said we don't know the demarcation. We got to find the original document from the French. Fanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we for such topics we really need to spend a bit more time and do some deeper dives because it is such a web. The French was not the only one who drew the lines. First of all, the borders, Africa borders, were drawn in what they call the Berlin Conference. This was in
1884.
Right. And this was primarily the French, the German, the British. I just posted a video actually in the chat. If someone can play, I think it'll be really great because this is the way they summarize it. It just really hits home so people can understand. So it was drawn by the French. It was drawn by the Italian, the British, the German, the Portuguese. Belgium is also here. The Spanish is also here. So you have these people gathered in Berlin in the 1800s and say, you know what? Africa is very rich. The people are very country. They don't know their left from their right. So we're going to draw these borders and divide them. So they drew Africa into 54 nations and brought about a level of, I think destruction is one thing, but division, as we have not seen on any other continent. You don't have India divided in the way that Africa is. You don't have, of course, North America and what have you. So when you understand, or when you start to dig into these things, you understand that this was intentional, and it was intentional for colonialist purposes, but also for exploitation. The oldest trick in the book, the oldest strategy is divide and conquer. When we can divide them and keep them divided, that's the only way we'll be able to conquer them and steal their resources. I'm not even going to try to intellectualize that, but steal their resources. And that's what's been happening to Africa since the drawing of the borders, and probably even before then. The constant exploitation and pillaging, and even into today's day, they have morphed it into other programs or other strategies as aid from USAID, or this program or this grant from the IMF or World Bank or what have you. So, and that's what I meant when I say that to see Africa unite into one continent, right? The United States of Africa, I think, as Pewee put it, is just going to be very much impossible. And even the AU that he mentioned, also, the AU is funded by the US and the EU. 70% of the AU's budget, it comes from the EU and the US. How do I put food on your table and then you're going to tell me I can't do what I want to do? It doesn't make any sense. Africa and the African leaders are not serious to unite. In fact, they, instead of them thinking about the bigger picture, right, about the broader benefits, they're thinking about, why would I want to relinquish my power as a president to Domoya, right? Why would I want to make Bweka the president when Liberia only has 5 million people and I have 20 million people? Why would Mahama want to declare, right, Badio president of sub-Saharan Africa or of Africa when they sit on so much gold? So you have these inner conflicts, right? You have these personal these personal vendettas, these personal hubris, right? And as they always say, power corrupts absolutely, right? There is no way, just even if we remove the colonial powers and all of that, the fact that when an African president takes power, to relinquish that power is definitely impossible. And it surprises me really that Bweka, the first thing he went to when this conflict arose was to go and have a conversation with the legislative to usurp power. Why? Why wouldn't you resort to diplomatic measures and try to quell the situation? Instead, one of the first things you did was to consolidate power and use an emergency situation.
I know, right?
Like it just tells you where these people's minds are. That's the first thing you think about. So you're not thinking about the people. And this is the conflict that you caused. These people were mining sand to build your presidential mansion in Foya. That's the only reason why that young man was shot today. And we don't even know the full story as to how he got shot. You understand? So if he had been a sensible leader, Liberia would not be in this situation today. I also want to touch on this recent debacle around, all these strange people are coming into Liberia and they're wearing gowns and they're these Muslim people. What do you call the missionaries? Because they're wearing kosu? Because they're wearing share and trase?
What do
you call the one-name missionary that going in Bassa community, going in Cruton, going in West Point, passing up and down? Their shoe can literally drop off their feet. Their slipper set is better. Some of our slipper are even better than their slipper. What do you call them? This hate for Muslims in Liberia, like, is what's driving the hate in this nation. The fact that you can look at a Muslim and say, "Oh, that man wearing big gown. You can see the man hat. Yeah, that Mr. Gayman hat today.
I know.
He must be foreign." That is disgusting, guys. We have to move away from that. There was no reason to go and investigate. And I know, Joseph, you guys were just doing your journalistic duties, right? To investigate when you hear a story. But I live in that community. That's actually my community. I know that facility. Just how you have missionaries travel from country to country. These people during the month of Ramadan, they come to pray with the Liberian Muslims for Liberia. Why should they be singled out? Why should they be harassed? That was uncouth of us as a nation. Come on, Liberia.
With that being said, we got to be fair here, because in the confluence of other issues that were happening, it would be irresponsible if the media did not investigate, because it was a particular interest to the nation. So yes, we had to have our media who has the responsibility and the training to allay the fears of our folks, because it was hearsay, I say, they say. And it is the responsibility of the media to allay the fears of the folk, which they did, and they did an excellent job. So I want to thank the young men that went over there and said, listen, these people are here. Most of them have come here before.
Right.
And they are here to do this. So they were able to educate our people and did awareness.
So some of the media was responsible. I did not see any negative reporting from TCA or uninformed reporting from TCA, but there were other medias within the country, within Liberia, who reported some really disgusting things, inciting violence in the communities, instilling fear into people.
Which one of the newspapers, so we can pinpoint them out?
I will absolutely. And they have since issued an apology, because they knew what they did was very disgusting. I will look it up like right now.
Okay, so when you find it, you bring it so we can address it. Dr. Peabody, let's go to an article. It's actually an editorial. It says here, roads worth hundreds of millions should not drown in garbage. This sounds like a very, I don't know what it is. To me, it is not anything new. It says here, Liberia did not build the Japanese free highway cheaply. The 13.4 kilometer highway reconstructed with approximately $100 million in grant assistance from the government of Japan through the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JRCA, was meant to stimulate multi-infrastructure, economic connectivity, and national progress. Yet, only a few years after its completion, the road now faces an alarmingly similar Liberian threat: neglect. A recent reporting showed blocked drainage system packed with garbage or stagnant water are already threatening the structural lifespan of the bridge of the highway. In the key corridors of Monrovia, this is not merely an issue of sanitation. It is an issue of governance, public discipline, and national accountability. Engineers are unequivocal about the danger. The drainage is not a cosmetic feature of road construction. It is the backbone of road durability. When drainage are blocked, water collects and on beneath the asphalt, weakening the structural layers. We talk about this several times. Let me go to Dr. Peabody here. $100 million. If you are in Liberia and you are driven on the Japanese freeway, you can see the filth, the dirt, the degradation, the neglect. If you were there for those, I'm going to go to Johnny and then Joseph later on. We'll finish with you here. But okay. It is terrible, Dr. Peabody.
Yeah, look, Mr. Gayman, just before we go on that, let me just pick it back to something Fanta said here. Look, I've been in Liberia. I was born in Liberia. I've never seen Liberian and Muslim fighting or Christians and Muslims having any problem. They have never been, and I don't think it would be. So I don't know when there's something that Fanta said a little bit disturbing, that the hate. And I think if Fanta say how people characterize people wearing gown or hat sometimes it's negative, but Liberian and Christians and Muslims have a very good relationship in Liberia. In fact, most of my best friends are Muslim. I'm Christian, and I don't see that. For me, I believe in people seeing God, their God as it is, than rather trying to put down other people's religion and stuff like that. I think Christians and Muslims are got no problem in Liberia. I don't see that, But coming back to the road,
and you definitely missed that the Christian like a Muslim war that happened where people homes were attacked. Look, I'm not saying that we don't have
everybody who are attacking Liberia, Christian, Muslim, everybody who have been attacking Liberia.
No, but that's not the point. You're trying to push it aside as if to say it's never been an issue. There is a fact that even the term, which is so denigrating, the Liberian man is so comfortable by saying, "Oh, you Madingo dog, oh, you Muslim, move from here." It is a fact. It is embedded into our society. You might have people who call themselves like civilized. Even among the civilized, they still look down upon the Muslim community. I'm not going to shy away or back down from that.
Look, Fanta, Liberia, Liberia look down on each other.
So the newspaper is Africa News Daily, Mr. Gayman. One of them, one of the most.
Let me finish my point, Fanta.
Right?
Let me finish my point. What I'm saying here is Liberians just look down on each other. You heard people calling other people from different tribes, "Oh, you country man, look at you're a country boy." When you're not or setting names, they call you country and things like that. Or you're of a certain class, oh, the Congo people and this. So Liberians have always put each other down.
We can say it's not happening. It's happening. We should be better.
It's true that Liberia people have sometimes character. Oh, you Mandingo man. Oh, that man a Mandingo man and stuff like that. Which I'm not disputing. But when it comes to the relationship, we are at very good relationship. Muslim and Christians are a very good relationship. That we can't just allow what other people say about other people to say that we have a problem. Christians and Muslims got very good relationship in that country. They are brothers and sisters. They are intermarried and all of that. Look at Chimability. Chimability's wife is a Christian. He married to a Christian.
But Dr. Peabody, let me correct you. Let me correct you. We don't intermarry, so don't say that.
You are missing the point. It's like the white man saying, "Oh, look, I have a nigger friend."
We don't want to make this a religious show, but we don't intermarry. It's a one-way street. They marry.
I see a lot of Christian and Muslim married in Liberia. That's why I said we are family.
How many Christian men you ever saw married a Muslim women?
I know a lot. I can name more than 10 of them. I know a lot.
Not that I know of. Okay, we don't want to make this a religious show.
Okay.
That's
what I'm saying.
I don't think we'll move for here today. So.
What I'm saying is, everybody should condemn the fact that how people talk to other people or telling this person. Mandingos are citizens of Liberia, and whether they like it or not, that's something that we all need to.
Dr. Peabody, that is not an issue in Liberia because I can show you the data shows that if we were prejudiced against a particular group of folks, look at Kamara, the Liberian people elevated him to the Senate. Look at Musa Belete, the
Liberian people didn't elevate Kamara to no Senate.
Okay,
that's a completely different story.
Liberian people didn't vote him into power. The Liberian people voted Musa Belete into power. The Liberian people voted too many of our brothers and sisters.
We are cherry picking
into our legislative bodies.
We're cherry picking.
You cannot say, okay, that in Liberia to be elevated at that level, you cannot tell me that a group of prejudiced people did that. The Bassa people, they got our own stereotype.
a group of people and sell out.
Listen,
right?
we
You have people from communities who sell out.
Father, as much as I agree with you, I know that there's
let's move on to the next topic.
Yeah,
I don't need anyone to agree with me on this. We just have to be better as a people.
We stereotype everybody. The vast of people get
exactly.
We're talking about this recent
we can say that now if you add it
about the Muslims in Liberia. That's what I'm talking about. This recent news about targeting Muslims in Liberia because you see they are foreign from you, they are wearing gowns, they don't have your same color. Whereas you have missionary passing up and down Watasa, Basa community, nobody says nothing. I have never seen any newspaper report about missionaries in Liberia. However, like few weeks ago, almost all the newspaper, social media was overridden where, you have Muslims like these people, we don't even know where they're coming from. That was an issue. Let's not ignore that.
Yeah, but find out we're not ignorant. I say it was elevated and rightfully so, because right before that, we were discussing how do you call it, my brother, the Fuller National Defense Force and all of that. These are things that led to some of these things, and we have to put them in context. But let's move on. Let's go to
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
you talking about the road project. What was your question again about that road project?
Let's talk about the $100 million investment that was just made a little over a year ago. It has now been decayed. Hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute.
You let it bring out. I don't know what we talking about. Country that is
your name. Where you calling from?
All right, people steal and they're not.
1 minute.
But you on the phone? Somebody on the phone.
Yeah, somebody go ahead.
This is Seleke Kromah, and I'm calling you from Kigali, Rwanda.
Okay.
So I just want to buttress what Counter is saying. Look, it is a fact. Whether we like it or not, this is something all of us, we have to work towards. And the hate in Liberia for Muslims in Madigo, this is something you can't even try to say it's not happening. It is happening, and the level is even harder than compared to other tribes as people want to compare here on the show. You know, look, just today, look, the issue happening in between Guinea and Liberia, for example. My own brother on the ANC, Duke, he's trying to turn people against America, talking about what America spoke late about the situation. Who determine when somebody should make an opinion about issue in a country? When? Who determine that America to stay silent on issues and decide to speak on any issue in the country? But trying to tie that around tribalism and religions is very, very unfortunate. And we do that almost all of the time. Just as Fanta put it, we have missionaries in the country that, I don't know, they are Jehovah's Witness people. They go from community to community to preach the word of Christianity. Not a single day any Muslims have taken these people photos and called them Boko Haram. But you have some ethical people calling themselves journalists, going to the mosques, taking people videos and calling them Boko Haram people. And people want to say, that's normal. They are journalists. They are investigating. That's not investigation.
Mr. Kamara, let me push back on that. Which mosque did they go to that and they took photo or video?
The Malachis in Garnersville.
They bring more open.
Yep.
Was that what? Listen, I visited that building. Is that building a mosque?
Yes, it's a mosque and a school.
Arabic school. That children goes there to learn about the Quran, and they stay there for a very long time, right? So these people, they go there. I was a baby. These people used to come out and preach at different mosques around the country, right? So for journalists to go there, I don't even know where other guy lay who journalism from. For him to go there and record these people and touch them with a full group.
Yeah, our brother Johnny Torgbean. Me, I'm interested in what Johnny got to say.
And calling them Boko Haram, it is very, very unfortunate.
Yeah.
You know, to be saying these are journalists who are doing investigation.
We are all one people.
Listen, thank you. Listen.
But if I may, I've been if I may, I know Johnny will always give me that because traditionally I will owe him.
Yeah, he's your nephew, man. He
nephew.
But on a serious note, these are very sensitive matters sometimes, and normally I really don't love to get into them, because of the sensitive nature of them, and the delicate nature also of it. But it is important, and as Cyril was just saying, we always just have to coalesce and ensure that we live together in harmony and try to crack the issue. But what Seleke was just trying to say just now, like most of the guys most of them that are in town wearing the tie and all things, that are they sin, church and all things. When those people arrive in the country, they report to their churches. The churches do report them. But the flip side of it is that I grew up in the suit factory, Ghana's area. Those missionaries.
I'm going to dispel that. I'm sorry. These people come through immigration. They have visas.
I'm coming. Hold on a little bit.
From the US, they have visas that the Liberian government issued. They pay the Liberian government entry fee. They stamp their passports with visa. They don't come, or they're not smuggled through the border. I'm going to reject that, Pewee. They are not smuggled.
What did I say, Jenna? You see,
these are doctors. These are lawyers. These are physicians.
What did I say, Jenna? What did I say? Mr. Gayman, 1 minute, please. 1 minute. What did I really say?
You are indicating when the missionaries come to Liberia, they check in with their various Latter-day Saints churches, right? They are formalized. What I'm saying to you is
what did I say now that I got you?
Is that wrong? Is that a lie?
No, but he is suggesting, and the underlying thing that you're not.
What did I say different from that push you not to just get up this way?
I live in that community. And nobody, like I grew up in Daybreak Mouth Open. I know this community and the most Muslims community like the back of my hand. I also went to Christian school, so I understand both faiths. I have family members who are Christians. Almost half my family are Christians, blood relatives, not even distant. So the way I understand both the Islamic and Christianity faith, not a lot of people do. So it goes beyond, oh, I have Christian friends. No, my cousin, blood, one father, one mother, sucked the same breast, is a Christian. I want to say to you, when we downplay and not address these issues directly, it becomes something bigger. We cannot suggest that when these people enter the country, look, their photos were, these are private people who are doing charity work. That school is a boarding school for most students that go to that school are orphans. Their parents are dead. These people fund their tuition. So to go and start taking photos, first of all, of minor children, second of all, of people who are donating to better the lives of Liberians.
But Fanta, I got to push back. They generally have the right to go and investigate.
Why do they not do that to the missionaries?
It is their right.
So why do they not do that to the missionaries?
When the community raise an alarm,
they answer the question. Why do they not do it to the missionaries?
You got no standing on this one.
Let's talk. Why do they not do it to the missionaries?
Pewee, go ahead.
Okay, so yes, what I was saying. I see no reason why Fata interrupted me just now. No reason whatsoever, because what I was actually trying to say is that, and you see, you try to preempt my thought process, but you got it erroneously.
Okay,
and again,
sorry. Go ahead.
And again, what I would say to you, I was trying to say that I grew up in the Sioux factory area, the Daybreak Mouth Open. I'm very vast of the area, understand the terrain very well. I, as an individual particularly, observed most of those people. I was referring to them, as I was saying, they then refer to themselves, and most people refer to them as migrants, right? Because they travel from country to country within the West African region, if you will. Particularly the West African region, you would do with most of them, and they don't even travel. One of the things you were saying here, let me correct that. They really don't travel via issue about getting the travel as migrant, and in some cases, most of them are not even identified. In most cases, they are not identified. They cross the border, and from one country to the next, and they are accepted. I say in some cases, they're not identified by a travel dossier. And I'm saying this
but
because
that's not true, because the ones who come from Africa, they have laissez passer. We have ECOWAS, the green passport. So you're still
let him finish. Go ahead.
And I've just said in some cases now, if you were to find the room, most of those people migrate from Mauritania, right? Their justification is that they live in abject poverty, if you will. So their migration is intended to seek greener pasture, right, in different areas and all of things.
But that's not true. You are diluting the story. That's not true.
You're not giving it time. And do you know the reason why I was disciplined to just listen for the past 15 minutes?
I know I'm not disciplined. Let's have it. Let's go. I'm not disciplined. Let's go.
I'm disciplining myself. No,
I'm not disciplined. I'm not disciplined. I'm from Bassa Community. I'm not disciplined.
But you have to give him to speak.
You see, let brother speak. Well, hold your peace, man.
You see, you know me talk again. I will hang my.
Hold your peace. Let brother talk. You will get the
time. Sarah, you start pushing on fire now. Keep quiet over here.
Oh, I said I'm gonna hold up. You let the brother talk again. They say pushing on fire.
What I was trying to say, basically, that particular area, and when the journalist, if you can recall, Mr. Gayman and I was on this show, I think someone. And I said when the journalists being moved, I said, no, that area, most of those guys, particularly from the Dearborn Open Junction, if you just enter a little bit in, there's a building, I said, no, those guys been around there for some long time, like Bremen would put it. And I said, no, those people are not Boko Haram. One of those questions on this show that vouched for them. I didn't vouch for them on the basis of sentiment. I did it because they've been around for long. If they were Boko Haram, they would have struck ever since. For those years, I have known them inhabiting in that community. But the other side of it is that, we can be so, and that's one of the things I always say. I say the sensitive nature of the religious sentiment we bring to bear sometimes. That's why I love to be very, very, very much careful how to get into it. Because even we, the educated people, are the one normally can spark it. So when I love to respect, when it comes to the issue of religion and the all the things that follow the necessary debate behind it, I love to be very sensitive on those things because the spark, I know the way the spark conflict, like when you put in inflammatory material somewhere, it just spark up. I know it, and I know the kind of way that blood came from, so we have to be mindful of it. But the way to do it is when people, and like Seleke was just saying just now, say people would discriminate. I don't want to think, but if you did things in a way that it looks so sinister or clandestine.
Pewee, I cannot allow you to continue. I really have to go. But I just put a photo in our group. Can you please take a look at that photo that was taken in public? Nothing like Mauritanians. These are Pakistanis. These are Americans. These are Indians. These are Bangladeshians. And what he's putting out there is false. Pewee, like let's just not go there. This is the photo I share in our group. Is the photo that was taken. Here is the photo right here. These are not Mauritanians. These are not Africans. These are not Africans.
But they are Pakistani. We should be more concerned about the image. We should be concerned as to what they're coming to do.
Missionaries.
Fofana, put it in the chat room.
Yeah, I did. It's in the chat room. I have yet to see photo of missionaries being taken where it's on the newspaper. It becomes a Facebook story for a whole week, where an entire community gets traumatized, where journalists are going into the community because there's a white missionary man there. I have yet to see that. And what the reason why I'm seeing all of it is that as Liberians, we must be better. It's not enough to say, oh, I have a Christian friend, I have a Muslim friend. No. The way we will not treat each other, we should not treat foreigners, and we should be very, very, very mindful. When people who do not work with us,
I agree with you for that. Yes, I would say. Yes, I would say that quickly. Yes, I would say. Well, I know Johnny.
My evidence, Pewee, I have to go. I'm fasting.
Yeah, but I would say quickly. We can allow our Muslim brother and sister all the things. We drink beer together. We drink wine together, right?
We drink stuff together. I'm fasting. I have to go. Mr. Gayman and team.
Yes. We'll discuss it tomorrow. Thank you.
I know. No, that's not no drink. One of my, I would say that resonate.
So her point of contention here is the investigation by the Liberian journalists with regards to those that came across, or what was her contention?
You've been sitting here all day pushing fire. You didn't even know her contention.
No, only because she got me confused. She got me.
You know, the point is that she said the way they
As Liberia should be better. Liberia should be better. We should stop hating our Muslim brothers and sisters and taking photos of them and singling them out. That is my point of contention. That's why we will not take photos of the missionary there. We shouldn't take photos of our Muslim brothers and sisters. That's my point I'm trying to make. Anything else before I go?
No. I said, you know, after the fast period, we had to drink wine and beer together.
Listen.
We will celebrate together.
The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. Back to sender.
Sarah.
That's why I say that.
Let me be honest with you. You know why we have problem in Liberia in particular? Because we are dishonest people. The problem between Christians and Muslims, it is this lack of intermarriage is the issue. They don't want to discuss it. And we will have to discuss it. We have to confront it, and we got to discuss. No, they let nobody lie to you.
And Mr. Gayman, before you continue quickly, Chief, and I would love Fata to really come on this one. Tomorrow we'll bring it up, and that's a serious problem I got also.
I mean,
back from my country, Sarah. You understand?
I cannot go on.
Yeah, you don't fall asleep right after you come soon. Back from our country, where we from, Johnny and myself here, and from even grandfather and another area. Fata will agree with us in this place, and I hope Siddiqui will agree with this. Siddiqui, I was just on the line just now, can go in the field of Loma girl, Basso girl, Pede girl, Dopoh girl, Crew girl, all of things. People whatsoever, right? But an attempt for me, Sylvester Pewee, to a video of a Mandingo girl will come in Kafiri. And I wanted to acknowledge it. So listen, we can fix this thing in Liberia. We are very good people, but the sentiments they bring to bear against the rest of the other tribes to a video, that if you are not Muslim, it's a serious problem we have. Are they waiting to discuss this on this show?
Thank you. Listen, why you're beating around the bush? That's what it is. Johnny, come on, let's talk. Your turn.
Let Johnny talk.
Yeah, so I mean, at the point, the thing is, we all have lived with Muslims, Christians, non-Christians, non-Muslims. And that's why I've always said at one point, if we're to ever have a system in this country where no one religion is taught in any school, no one religion is taught in the school, that all our schools, whether public or private, all schools should only teach religious education. And when you graduate, you become an adult, you decide which religion to go to. It will help us in the long term. Like the point that Mr. Gayman and Pewee just raised. I gave you one case in Lofa about a few years ago in Zozo. This girl decided that she will be in a relationship with a Loma fellow in Zozo. Her parents threw her out as an outcast. She threw her out. I keep in contact with her, doing my work on the same peace building, actually the justice, rule of law study, and she said she has an issue. Her parents threw her out, telling her brothers, everybody, that she had no link to the family asset. And in fact, she was staying in Zozo with friends and doing schooling because she refused to be married or be in a relationship with a Muslim person, Muslim man, and she felt like being in a relationship with a non-Muslim person in Zozo. That case is that I have a case of that. And this is something that is normal. They will, right now, even if you go in Kehleboe in Lofa, 90% of the women in Kehleboe are Loma women. They are being converted into Muslim or into Islam, and they speak Mandingo, they pray. That happens. But to see a female Muslim coming in contact with a non-Muslim male is a serious challenge. And this is where Sierra Leone has beat us down. In Sierra Leone, you will see, in fact, Sierra Leone is entirely like mixed, 50%, 50-50 Muslim Christians. You go to most homes in Sierra Leone, you will see a Muslim father with a Christian wife. The children decide to follow their mother or follow their father. It's open, it's a liberal situation in Sierra Leone. But here, it's different in Liberia. And the point she raised about missionaries, look, like Mr. Gayman said, let's be earnest, let's be sincere. let's look around the global security issue. Seleke is here. All of us here follow the news. Every news about violence in West Africa or in other parts of the place is most time linked to the Islamic religion. Right? Now, we're talking about Boko Haram in Nigeria. Who are those heading that?
You know why it's linked to Islamic? Like you know why? Let me educate you.
Father, go pray.
Boko Haram is funded by the United States. Boko Haram, Taliban, Al-Shabaab are all funded by the U.S. and the CIA. I will provide the documentation for you.
Yeah, listen,
propaganda from your database. Boko Haram is funded by the great United States.
Father, hold on. Okay,
it's not a Muslim group. ISIS
so
is not a Muslim group. It's funded by the U.S.
People, why will Muslim leaders allow themselves to be used as by Americans who are now Muslims?
Why do Liberian leaders allow themselves to be paid by Americans?
Can you listen?
Why?
Look, Father.
Let us not talk about Boko Haram. That's not the issue here.
I want to make a point, right? It's good that she has just named all these groups. Now, all of us here, globally, for me, at one point I said, if I want to know what happened around the world, I won't listen to only BBC. I will find all outlets to listen to what happened, because the narrative that comes from Western media against some population in the country is not always true. That's my perspective, right? It's not always true. That's why even the situation now in Iran, I'm in so sympathy with Iran because I feel that the action there is not appropriate, right? I'm not a Muslim, but I'm looking from a humanitarian perspective. I see that. So if you sit as a Muslim cleric, Muslim scholar, and you allow American and British people to fund you and turn you into a group, and then they come and label you as a terrorist and make the rest of the world to believe in them, what you expect of an ordinary person in Liberia who has no better understanding of these things?
These people are not Muslims.
Right? Now here's the point.
The president of Syria, he was the head of ISIS today. And you heard Trump say, Mr. Gayman is a Trump man. You heard Trump say, I appointed the man.
Father, by your faith, by your religion, you should not be interrupting me. You know that, right?
Why not?
Do you know that?
But,
why not?
No, listen, Father, let's go to the point. By your faith religion, you should not interrupt me, right?
Okay. So now,
right?
you are here spewing propaganda about my religion, and then you tell me I cannot defend it because I'm
come on, listen. I'm saying me by your religion and faith. Should you interrupt me while I'm speaking?
By your religion and faith, that's an ally.
We're making it
Father.
I said we don't want to make this because I'm gonna bring some prelates and some scholars so we can discuss this issue. It is one of those things that most people are in denial.
Right?
Go ahead.
So we all can fit into that. I understand the research is very difficult.
The Muslim religion
of a particular group of people allow themselves to be manipulated and be labeled as people of violent nature. You expect that to be the situation. So therefore, with all the information around the world that violence of terrorism and things are linked to this religion, you expect everybody to be concerned, right? That's the raise of concern. So let's go back. Now you see, Father, I like the argument. Let's go back. Where have you seen a group of religious people? Why have you seen, let's for example, Christianity now, Christianity being linked, where a religious group of Christians decide that they will be turned into a radical group or into a violent group and be labeled as this and that. So that's not the case. So when that happens, it will create concern. So I would say, for example, in my situation, from the way I see my sister speaking on this matter, it tells me that Liberia is still a fragile state, and that religious differences, religious competition, religious intolerance, or religious defense mechanism, and the level at which we are defending the religion in this country, it tells our leaders, I hope our leaders are listening to this show, is to inform them about how we should go about making Liberia a non-religious country, a real secular country where everybody live under the rule of the Constitution of Liberia, and we follow and live by the Constitution of Liberia, right? And follow the rules in the country. Look, once the laws in the country are fully applied and everybody living by the rules, I think we'll have a better situation. Mr. Gayman, let's go now to the road issue, which I was also concerned about.
No. Let us not sweep this on the road because we're going to discuss it. I'm going to bring scholars here. We're going to discuss this because I'm a victim of what you are talking about. Okay?
Me?
No, I said I'm a victim of what we are discussing.
So you want that's going to Muslim Jew deny you?
No. Listen to this. I have my nephew that just turned 13, and we just celebrated his bar mitzvah, right? Jewish. I have my other nephew that graduated from cathedral that I supported. He graduated from Stella Marie. He's a full-fledged Muslim. My younger brother is a Catholic. I'm a Methodist. So my household, it is a complete, when we're talking about a complete amalgamation of faith. My nephew had a baby by our neighbor, the Mandingo people next door. The child turned 4 yesterday. They took the child from Buchanan and the girl. They have disappeared for 3 years because she broke their Islamic law that she had a baby by somebody who is non-Muslim. The child and the woman have disappeared. This is the 3rd year we are in court. We are looking. We can't find. So I was on another platform with an Islamic scholar that was my co-host. He said, your daughters are beautiful. One of them can marry my son. And I told him, I said, absolutely, if they love each other. I said, but I also have a son. His name is Biko. Can he marry your daughter? He said, not according to the book. Our book say it cannot happen. He has not gone on our show since. This is the 2nd month he has not shown up because I told him, I said, sir, I am disappointed. On national TV, you are telling me that the book disallow my son for marrying your daughter if they love each other. He said, yes, and we stick with our rule because that's what God, I guess Allah says. So nobody should, listen, until Liberia had this conversation, we are fooling ourselves. Because this is the underlying issue in our republic between the two faiths. And don't let anybody bully you into not discussing it because it is real. Seleke is here. He can attest to it that is the law. That is the rule. And nobody can sit there and tell me how many Muslim girls that are married to Christian boys. Ain't nobody can tell you that they can name 10. So don't let anybody fool you. Now you can let's go to the Seleke, if you want to mention, you want to discuss, you want to make a comment on this, then we'll move on to the road.
Yeah, so let me talk about the ones that listen to me.
Show Mr. Gayman. I don't know, but let me position quick. I'll be leaving because I have to go for midnight prayer. We are almost at the end of this fast month. So here is a thing though. I joined the show, Mr. Gayman, because I continuously hear you and Sarah making a comment that a journalist in Liberia went to investigate. If you watch that video, that guy didn't go.
You heard me?
Listen, I want you to address what I just addressed also.
Yeah, but we can't. I come in on Mr. Gayman.
Okay, good.
Let's give me a few minutes and I'll be done. Yeah, we'll listen to you to the different opinion. You, Sarah, I listen to you. So when you say you should hear me speaking, I listen to you very, very well.
What did I say?
You are saying that a journalist went to Daybreak More Open Mocks to go investigate. That guy went to provoke other people. He was literally sitting in a car, camera facing at the gate of the fence, and saying all kinds of funny things that are complete nonsense. How the community people complain to him, They are feeling uncomfortable because they're seeing strange people in the community wearing gun, you know, and all kinds of things. That is not investigation, Mr. Gayman. You can go to a place, you go sit in a park, put a camera on, and you see all kinds of things. And you say that is investigation. That is not
we send TCA send an investigative team headed by
we are not
Myean.
talking about TCA.
No, but I'm telling you that we did an investigation. What are you trying to say?
We are not talking about TCA. We are talking about the journalists who video circulated on the internet, referring to these people as Boko Haram.
Our job is to make the correction. We did that.
It was unfortunate for him to do that. Now, this issue about, you know, non-Muslims getting married to Muslim women.
No, not non-Muslim. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, but I said non-Muslim, people who are not Muslim.
Yeah, non-Muslim men.
Of course, about a woman get married to a woman, Mr. Gayman. Yeah, so non-Muslim men getting married to Muslim women. You know, Mr. Gayman, again, there are so many cases. But when you say on this platform that people should come and call people names.
No, but give me some example. Give me some example.
Then
give me some
example. Again, Mr. Gayman, again, there are so many.
Give me an example. Give me an example.
Muslims who have married Muslim women.
Give me an example.
But for you to say it's not happening, it's not possible.
Mr. Seleke, you already gave me an example.
You keep interrupting me, Mr. Gayman.
No, but just give me an example.
On that one, anytime if it were to happen, they will isolate or excommunicate that person.
Let him give me an example.
That's a raw fight. I know that's a raw fight. That's a raw fight.
The main reason I'm here, Mr. Gayman, is to share this with all of you. Let's look. We have a lot of work to do, and I like how Mr. Johnny put it, right? So discrimination is real, especially against Muslims and Mandingo in Liberia. That is a fact. So we can't put that away. Even at the level of supporting politicians in Liberia. Seleke Kromah can say today he's a Kumi supporter. It's not a problem. But the day Seleke Kromah is supporting Musa Belede, all the people who hail Seleke for supporting Kumis, they will come after Seleke and say Seleke is a travelist.
And Dopoh who expose it. Dopoh are stupid people.
I'm coming. It is a fact. It is a fact.
Seleke, you're not getting it. Okay, let's get to the source of the issue.
That happens to every tribe.
The source of the issue here is the disadvantage that exists between Muslims and Christians in Liberia. That is it. You can't beat around the bush.
Mr. Gayman, can you, for example, if you have a daughter, can you give a daughter to somebody for marriage if you are not comfortable with that person? If you have a say in who your daughter get married to?
Oh, wait, Seleke, come on, man.
I'm asking you, can you do that?
If they love each other, don't even go there.
If they love each other, yes.
So you're not comfortable with Christian. That's what you were saying.
No, I'm not saying I'm not comfortable with Christian.
Let's move on to the preaching. Let's move on to the editorial about the roads. Okay, Johnny, you are in Liberia.
Should they get on that flat for you, Jeff?
Yeah, but we are talking about $100 million investment.
Anyways,
$100 million investment. I was just there. I drove on the road.
Which road?
The January 20th, I on the Japanese highway.
Oh, Japanese highway. Oh.
The filth, the decay, the neglect. I would say it's a complete waste of resources.
Oh.
According to the editorial, that road will not last because the water, the filth, the drainage, the water is now seeping under the cotar, right? The pavement itself. The bridges, they are sitting in water. It was never meant to be that way. $100 million, according to this, and you and I seen it. Listen, why we do build these expensive buildings and roads and we don't maintain them?
So, Mr. Gayman, let me just come in quick since I'm on the side. Look, I've always complained about this road, and every time I'm driving on this road, and people are riding with me on my vehicle, I tell them this road was built by people's taxpayer money from other country, and we are now respecting the poor taxpayer money. We are throwing the poor taxpayer money in the trench, in the bush. We are throwing it. We are eating the road. That road is poorly managed. That road, I mean, it's just Liberian people attitude. Look, Mr. Gayman, even the road now we are building on the Robertsfield Highway. If you get that road in the morning, tomorrow morning, people will have taken dirt and things from their homes and bring it extended by the road. So now put it in the water squirter to take water away. You know what I'm saying? So that's why that drive. Mr. Gayman recently coming again, and every recently we always experience flaw. You saw by the road. And the other way it was built. Look, I have my junior brother is a civil engineer. He lived in Saudi for about 3 to 5 years doing civil engineering work there. When he came back to Liberia after his contract and he came back, we're driving on that road. He said, Johnny, this is one of the best road that we have built.
Johnny, hold on.
But they mentioned it on the road.
Johnny, hold on. Hold on. Somebody line. Your name and where you calling from? Your name and where you calling from?
I'm KJ Lion calling from Peabody, North Dakota.
North Dakota, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Gayman, thank you for allowing me to show for taking the call. Well, without sensitive issues, you guys are discussing. We understand that we have our brother, our Mandingo, and Muslim brothers and sisters, Liberian people, not against them. And they put the attitude, and this is wrong for Liberian people, for the love and respect we have loved them over the years. Liberia is a country that in West Africa that Muslims really enjoy that religious freedom. So there's fundamental issues. Oh, there's a zero Muslim Christian issues. No, we shouldn't be developing that because they really enjoy that. But let me just do that again. And the sister Fatima, she educated that she used her education to suppress the Liberian people for discussing sensitive issues. We're not against the Mandingos or against Muslims. We love each other. We want that relationship to continue the way it looks like in any other countries. The reason why some of these Shia jihadists will go around countries in Africa, just how the same how some of the other Muslims will go around countries to prepare the people mindsets for the way they want the people to understand things. So with Liberia issues right now, with what happened with the borderline, with me, I look at it from a geopolitical perspective. I will not look at it because we are twins. It's not like that. Although those people love each other, they see that they are self-connected, but from a geopolitics perspective, it's going to play out in a way where I don't care you must say we are twins or brother and sister, we can tell the enemy in a day now. We look at the stuff. She mentioned about Pakistan. So it's more to be concerned about Pakistan. So Mr. Pewee, they're very moderated and very, very intelligent handling issues when it says it's agitated and it is wrong. This is time like we want to discuss serious matters. We can't be too gullible all the time with everything like that. What happened to the borderline? From my own understanding, on the geopolitical level, you should understand that Guinea have been too close to the Russians. They have been able to proxy for the Russians. And for each time these things were happening throughout, the Russians always allowed the jihadists and Sunni Muslims to be a part of the American people, the way American people said. The Russians decided to because they knew that we are very close to the Americans. So they're already here. What just happened in Iraq? They will put the side of Russia, they will take the side of Sunni jihadist stuff. Russia can't do that.
Thank you.
We need to prepare our borderline. We need to same military, there's red light, you step in immediately. What the ambassador said, no, it's time for the military to be deployed there. It's not, we're not going to do our brother, sister, too much like that. I'm for all the way in Southeast region, and I'm really proud of my Loma brothers for defending the land. And they shouldn't make mistake and the Guinean or any jihadists into Liberia business. They were feeling because the Muslims, the Mandingos, they enjoying the peace. They shouldn't trade that peace was so geopolitics.
Yeah, a lot divisé comme Muslim et Mandingo dans la Bresse. But Mr. Gayman qui le met c'est les menaces divisées.
Johnny, you
fight. What the wars in the Myanmar, so they can stop it.
Johnny,
where he feel like he join in Liberia, Muslim Mandingo.
So I think with regards to the rogue situation, we need to do a serious awareness with our Liberian population in our schools, in our organization, in our churches, in our mosques. People should understand the value of the roles that we are building and want to take care of them. Other than that, Mr. Gayman, you don't even see the beauty of the road anymore. The way when the one road was built initially, the way it was built newly in like 2014, 15, 16, it looks so beautiful. The beauty has gone. And when you say city, it's also to do with beautification. How does it look like? The road nice, the road is not, the road is so dull. It looks so, I mean, like unkept, unmanaged. You know, it's so bad. And the burden also goes on the government, primarily, and then the people that live along the road. From red, look, go to tonight, Apache red light, my brother. You see the volume of debt on that road that was built where people tax high-earned taxpayer money. You know, so before I close on day, I remember when I worked for the USAID program. I was warned.
On the bridge.
You know, I was warned. The guy said, Johnny, do not play with the American taxpayer money. So if we can respect people taxpayer money in this country, I think we'll do better. But we need to do something to improve the care for public facilities in this country. Other than that, we spend all the money to build good roads and good structures here, but we live and destroy them. And right now, we are building a bridge now. Right? After our bridge is constructed, if we don't take care of it with low filter, we don't even see the beauty of that bridge anymore in this country because of the care we give to that bridge. So I'm just saying the state and the people must work together to ensure that every public facility is properly managed and kept for the beautification and long life of the road and our organ benefit. But that Somalia road is bad. It's getting bad on a daily basis. It's poorly managed, poorly kept. I mean, it's just like like nobody cares about that road. And that road, road is a living organism. If that road lives, you take good care of it, it will look better. You will enjoy the road. And we don't even know that. I mean, that road is such that, look, in the corner, we don't even know that if the road is having too much sand, it's also a violation of traffic law. The road should always be clean of any foreign object. Because if you have foreign object, it can cause accident, and the driver could not be held liable, but the management of the road. Those are all part of our traffic laws in this country. You know, but Mr. Gayman, I'll give it up to you and the guys, so go ahead, I'm listening.
Thank you. Let me go to Sarah.
Yeah, Mr. Gayman, with regards to the road, until we can have a effective garbage collecting system in our country, we'll continue to have a lot of these things. People will be dumping stuff on the road, they all over the place. I just saw a video on Facebook today with the amount of deck that is in the middle of Douala Market somewhere there. Even the people had to put they had to pour fire, to, I don't know what the MCC guy is doing right now. It looks like he's just wearing white coat and sitting there in the office and just getting air condition blowing him, and he's not doing anything because those people are sitting in the middle of that. So they said they had to pour fire on the dirt in order to burn some of it. I don't know what they're doing. So until we can have an effective garbage collecting system all over the country, we'll continue to face this problem with our roads. People will just get and dump dirt all over the place. So that's something that this government has to pay attention to. They said the other government was not capable of doing anything. Now they are there now. They should be capable of doing something, at least for the Liberian people to see. The garbage collection system in the country has to be structured and it has to be effective. Other than that, we'll continue to have these things, and it's not even healthy for our population, our people. It's not healthy for them.
Tomalin, this is not limited to garbage. When I was in Liberia, they were painting the ministerial complex, and they made it was like a big press conference and all. I mean, can you imagine painting a regular building and they make it a newsworthy item? Painting a building that's supposed to be a regularly scheduled event. So it's not only about the garbage, it's about an administrative lacking in the governance. And this thing go back to, I don't even know how long, but this is beyond garbage, Honorable Tomalin George.
Well, the thing is that, Mr. Gayman, until we can allocate resources to tackle these things, we'll have this kind of problem. And like I always tell people, the country is now poor. Look at our national budget. It tells you exactly our priorities. And just imagine the lawmakers, because their salaries and benefits delayed.
I know, right?
They ordered the sergeant on arrest, the living battle with because the thing is programmed. They know exactly. Look, somebody will tell me a story about how they used to operate. When they pray for the budget to pass, when it pass, they get somebody. One of them will be at the bank waiting for the check to go and cash it. Somebody what to do once the budget pass, the president signs in the law. They go to their businessman. My man, I get there and mind the budget. So give me something now. I'll be giving when my pay can be giving money every month to get from the interest from them. So it's programmed. So why think the garbage? And the mayor was in Kenton last week, trying to hustle to get support for the city corporation. So until we get our priorities straight, Mr. Gayman, we have a kind of problem. We don't have our priorities. We're upside down. We're concerned about different things instead of the basic things that we need. And that was tough for us.
See, Joseph Sally, we are talking about every day. In fact, we were just talking about the Liberian government. I got it here. They had a big conference that Liberia had just signed another contract with Japan, $16 million to pave 1.9 kilometer of road between the Garguah Bridge and that corridor. And it's a big thing. It's on the front pages of all the papers. But there's nothing mentioned about maintenance, about upkeep, about the... I mean, why like this?
Yeah, so I live on the Japanese freeway. So, and most of the time you see these things, especially on the roadside, in the quarters. And even myself, one time I was coming from work very late, and I saw a guy have a whole pile of load in a rest bag, carrying it in the quarter to go and dump. And these things continue to happen. And when you bring all the latest logistic, you send it to the MCC, you send it to the PCC. If the people themselves are not taking responsibilities of burning dikes in their home, they will still bring the dike on the road. And it's one of the things that is really spotting the entire Japanese freeway. You go to that 72nd junction, you will see the whole dead part up on the roadside. People moving about, holding their nose. And there's a road I was built. They have not even lived up to 10 years. And you're seeing some of these things by the roadside. But yes, the question here is, who are to be blamed? I think we, the citizens ourselves, people themselves, are not taking responsibilities on some of these things. Yes, you cannot say that you put police along the roadside or MCC workers at night on the roadside to monitor some of these things. No, other countries, people are not by the roadside catching people. Whether you throw something or take die from your house and.
Mr. Sanvee, can I push back a little bit from what you were saying, and then I'll go to Seleke here. What choice do the people have? I was in Tingle Village, and these people were collecting the dirt. There's nowhere to carry the dirt, no one to pick up the dirt. There's no system where the people are supposed to, how they're supposed to pick up. So the guy, what choice do they have? The government is not saying we have a garbage pickup system. This is how it works. This is when it works. This is how you do it. The government doesn't have the system. How do you blame the regular person that don't have the ability?
Yeah. So, and I was just the mayor just gave his address, and after his address, and we asked a lot of questions, and he said that there's a cooling system that he have trying to put in place where. When you have a garbage at your house, you just call the number, and there will be a fee attached to it. And we said yes, it's good, but how real forceful would this coding system be? Because we don't want to see the same thing where you see people coming on the street and enjoying that. And one of the things that we continue to suffer in this country is implementation problem. It may be a very nice system, a coding system. Like I can just sit in my home, man, and just call the PCC. Oh, I have a diet, and just even when a small percentage appear towards it, but will we implement it to the fullest? I think that's the question there.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, can I come in quickly, Mr. Gayman? Because I have a little bit of knowledge about this process when it comes to the kind of urban and activities.
Yeah, I'm coming to you. Let me go to Seleke because we hear that's what Seleke. In this country and other countries, and even at one time they had something similar when we were growing up in Basel way back. The government will give these these drums, okay, and they tell you when to put them on the road, and they come and pick it up. In a developed country, the same thing. The government provide these things, and your job is they will give you the schedule. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we'll pick up garbage. Put your garbage in here, we'll pick it up. But for someone to say, when you get garbage, call me, and we'll come and pick it up, it don't even make sense. Your take on this garbage issue.
No, Mr. Gayman, just as you put it, when Joseph was speaking, the government should have a system. Unfortunately, Joseph did mention that the mayor recent press conference, he mentioned about a system they've already put together. But unfortunately, that system, I don't think, I'm not sure is effective, or they've even launched that system, But the bottom line is that the government should have a system in place where, in fact, the government alone can't do it. If it's possible, they can incorporate some young entrepreneurs or other local private businesses to get into the business, just so that we keep the city clean, something positive. Because the last time, I also heard from somebody in Liberia on Facebook that the whole center, I don't know, around Central Street there, where they have that grave, that whole place is blocked with that. This is a serious issue, even though, just as Joseph was saying, the citizenry also have a role to play into this, but there should be a system, because Liberians too, we are quick to learn, we are quick to adapt. Once there's a system, in fact, most often, some of the few communities I get, people who actually come pick up diet, especially the Zogos, they make a lot of money for it. Some of the Zogos, that's the business they do. They go from house to house, but again, these people, when they collect your diet, they not get nowhere to go put it. They'll go put it in another environment too. They run away to go, because at the end of the day, we need to have a system. But 3 years now, the mayor is talking about putting a system together. By the time we get in 2027, 2028, I'm not sure the mayor will be too much focused on this. Instead, all of them will be campaigning now for re-election. And unfortunately, the way we vote, this is the result we've getting. You go and make an 82-year-old male president, You know, what sort of innovation? Because what we're talking about, it has to be with innovative ideas. You know, you can go bring, I don't know who is Siafa, you know. And by the way, you had some young folks doing the inaugural programs that initiated good ideas to clean the different communities. Some of these people were rejected because probably they didn't have the money to give kickback to the mayor or whatsoever, you know, and they were supporting the Unity Party by the way. So I believe these young guys were going to be in power, you know, at this time, you know, we're going to be, and they really have to come up with innovative ideas. Just here in this country, Mr. Gayman, one of the best solution the government here came up with, the Ben plastic bag. Nobody use plastic bag. You go buy the envelope that when you go to the bank, they give you money like everybody use here. You know, so again, even you can use plastic bag, but you can still make use of that plastic bag. You can get other private institutions or businesses that can recycle that plastic bag. You buy it from it. You can fix that plastic bag with something else. Again, it has to do with innovation. You know, but I'm not sure, you know, the mayor is on top of his game. You know, if it's working, definitely we'll see it. We'll not be seeing Central Street or the block with diet, just as you're saying with some of the main bridge, you know, all of that. But I hope they can come up with something. But the bottom line is the government should have a system. Once you have a system, the citizen can then follow. You can put out enforcement into place where they can be able to cooperate with that system you put into place. Yeah.
Honey, this is your area. We're talking about waste management, right?
Yeah. So
some of us have made contribution. We have brought them here. We have taken them to Waste Pro. If you don't have a waste management system, this thing they call dumper, you don't just dump dirt anymore. There's a way to build the waste system where even the dirt is used to collect gases and all that other stuff. So they are not burying dirt anymore. They're not just dumping dirt anymore. It's not a matter of collecting the dirt. Where do you dump it? You have an idea on it. How did you guys do it?
So, Mr. Gayman, the thing here is, I want you to take some time to put into context. So you have the Ministry of Internal Affairs, or Ministry of Local Government, that is responsible for the internal governance of the state. It's like you guys in the US have local governments, local state administration, you got the city mayor, you got the community leader, whatever in the US, every community got those kind of things, right? So here, our problem starts with Internal Affairs Ministry. Until we can have people there that understand their roles, their functions, and their obligations, then we begin to solve the problem. Because you need technicians that will sit and say, look, first thing, Monrovia or every part of the country has cities, or say has some urban community. We need to have urban leadership. You have certain mayors that are reporting to the Deputy Minister for Urban Affairs. That's why I know it should be a local government. You need to have structures, leadership structures organized in every community. That's participatory governance. So, for example, you got Monrovia City Corporation. Maybe if you ask the city mayor now, how many persons do you have in your city council? How many communities do you have as part of your city governance of Monrovia City Corporation? Because those community leaders, let's say you take Jalatan as a community, you should have a leadership there that will report and work in line with the city corporation. For example, you got Buse Cotton. You should have a leadership there that will be working directly with the office of the city corporation, city mayor. For example, you got Slipway. Again, you got West Point. You have a Johansson community. You have Mama Point community. You put a person, you should have a GIS team that will do a clear map of the whole city and put it into zones and communities. And that is where even our democratic process will take root. Those people have elections among themselves to say this person is our leader. That person who heads that community becomes member of the city council, city government. The city mayor does not make laws. The city mayor enforces the law of the city council. That's why it should be. Because then, if the people in Busekora decide, they meet among themselves, various community in Busekora, various neighborhood will meet, and they pass a law in that community that says This is how we do with garbage. This is what we do with this. Then that system will be taken to the central corporation. Also, what the corporation will be doing now is to enhance, to support our system so that that community that had described or prescribed how to take care of waste management will be followed. You understand? Then even the enforcement of that system will be left on the shoulders of that community leadership. That's what we should do firstly. Let's establish a system on the ground that every community has leadership of women, leadership of youth, whatever we have in that community. They all play a part in governing that community and ensuring that that community is kept clean. They take ownership. When that happens, you will begin to see change in the community with waste. One thing we should know about waste is directly proportional to population. The more you are, the more waste you create. Let's say if in your home now, if you are 2% in your home, just observe yourself here. If it's just you and your wife in your house, you will be almost entire every day. You will hardly see waste. You will use less water. You will use less paper. Everything you'll use less. When you have 2, 3, 4% added to you because serving in your home, you will see that you are cleaning the house 2 times a day or even 3 times a day. Because the more you are, the more you will use the bathroom, you will use the kitchen, you will move around the place, you will use things. So that's the one thing our people should understand in our government when it comes to local government and to take care of waste management as a city corporation, for that matter of fact. That is not happening. So even if you go back to the rule, when I was doing transport planning in my graduate study, they tell you that every plan must be participatory. So when you're building that road on Canavie Road, I don't know why they didn't have communication with the inhabitants of that community to know what that road will be built, and that road will be built for this purpose, and how they can play a role to save and protect the road. That's part of the process. That's what I learned. Except I'm reading it because it's theoretical, but it can be done in practical. You understand? So once you do road construction and the citizens in that community or the regional community take ownership and they play a role into how that road is constructed, they are informed who bears the road. In fact, the need of that road in the community, how we benefit them, and how they can get involved in making that road be clean, to be protected of any waste or any damage. Then they and the people in the senior management of that community will work together to save and protect those places. But until we can put these things into order, Mr. Gayman, and I'm afraid Liberia is becoming more explosive, disorganized and chaotic way. We're having urban chaos in Liberia, urban chaos. To the extent that we just explaining building anywhere, no other way created, no urban planning, no city planning, nothing. And people are at Liberia University Regional Science, where I got my graduate study from. People are there, they have been trained into these courses. Are they urban planning? Are they city planning? With the rural planning? At the University of Liberia, how's any other school I went to? Right at the UL. So what's happening with us? Why can't we get people to come and support the system? Despite our political affiliation. We don't remember Monrovia better than any other place around this region. That's a small country. Liberia, Monrovia is easy to build because Monrovia has no elevation. Monrovia land is flat, so you can construct freely. You can run lines and everything. You go to where Kehleboe is or Seleke is. When you stay there as an urban person, you stay there, you say, yeah, you guys catching hard time to build here. The whole city of Kigali is all hills. So how do you guys run lines into those hills to get water and build roads? But Monrovia is a flat land. You go towards Buchanan, the road is flat. Going towards Kakata, the road is flat. Going towards Kamara, Bombing Way, the road is flat. But still, we are having urban chaos. Go now to Johnson, Fisher-Apple building. Go to Mount Barkley. Go to Ralphie Highway. But just building any kind of way, no plan, no organization, no zoning, no structure, nothing. But meanwhile, we have Internal Affairs Ministry or local government. We got people who are working as Deputy Minister for Urban, the Minister for Planning and Resource. We have all these people there with those titles. What are they doing? Planning and Resource. What are they doing? Resource. What are they doing?
That's the question. That's a $1 million question that we're asking. Well, guys, today was Decoration Day in Liberia. For those of us who had, well, every one of us have family members. Those of you who are in Liberia who did.
You didn't want me to give view on the rule? You just let me.
Yeah, you know, I'm coming. I just want, because I wanted to say something before I went to the rule. I didn't get to it. So today is Memorial. Not Memorial.
No, nobody gonna tell you that you should know it.
You been around. You been around more than us.
That's right. So Decoration
Day.
Decoration Day, guys. Everybody who went out today to pay respect to the day, we honor you. I think today or yesterday was the former First Lady's birthday. I think.
Today's her birthday.
Today, Madam President, Madam First Lady, happy birthday to you. Ex-President Joe, we are also paid tribute to his late mother today on the National Decoration Day. So we will acknowledge everybody who went out there to celebrate and pay respect to our loved ones. Yes, the Honorable Pewee, now you want to talk about the road. Your suggestion, your idea on this road thing, it is bad.
When you say it is bad, what do you mean first?
I mean, I drove on the road.
Boy, you are in Liberia. You see the road, Pewee?
He knows because both of us, we live in the same area in Johnsonville, I don't call the place, Dixville. That place when you're driving on the Japanese highway, the little part that you can pass, the sand. Some area, the sand have come all the way that the 4 lane now look like 1 lane. Because it looks like they can't shovel the sand. They don't have the trucks that I guess that sweep the road. So the sand get piled up in the road. That when it rains, then it creates puddle. Go ahead. I know you were there. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, and I even complained when I came back. I even complained about what they're complaining about most of the roads are even done. The little we have done in terms of paved roads. Those amount of miles we covered already. Kilometers, as we normally call it in Liberia, we covered already. Most of them been deteriorated and been depressed. And I was told by one of the engineers that the reason of the potholes is due to depression of the concretization of the structural engineer mechanism deployed at the time. So let's say even coming back from the Bannersville Junction, the road was done quite recently. Between the Bannersville Junction and where they call the Bannersville Junction, the town hall community there's a lot of pothole between there. From the Bannersville Junction to pass through, you drive okay, but immediately hitting the Ben stop area after the Kehleboe area, rather, there's deep area before also crossing into Dixville. A lot of terrible potholes also in those areas. And then to moving through, I think there's a need to hold responsible again, apart from what we've been talking about. Most of those construction companies that have been awarded contract as to the intent of the duration of the contract, the road, they will have to, because the reason is just simple. Most of the government officials will have to chase these companies if they give them a contract to get kickback. So if the road was meant for $20 million and you expect to get $5 million kickback from the guy that's the contractor, and then the contractor will basically spend maybe $10 million, and the road is actually meant to be done for $15 million, he got $20 million. You that issuing the government official want $5 million from that. Or if it is $10 million, the man will spend a 10 get there. So whatsoever he will give you, take the rest from what he's supposed to do and make the road guarantee so the road won't be. So they will face with the current situation in the country in terms of road and other things. I think it's important. We do have the road fund. We have to also see other policy mechanism that we can put into place to add that more money coming through that thing to ensure that we backward in terms of roads. In the city area, this capital city and its environment, the outskirts of the cities, those communities, they need to be open, and they need to be open by paved roads. And if we can do those things, where it does is that it's going to enhance mobility, it's going to enhance social connections, it's going to enhance economic viability in those communities. Because if the road is done, for instance, you see the Johnsonville area now, Johnsonville is more viable economically because there's paved roads. So all of those have got properties that run. People are building hotels, motels, stores, other businesses, entertainment areas springing up from all walks of life in the Johnsonville area. That is due to the fact that there's rural connectivity, so there's economic value in that community. So rural is paramount, very important. So I think we need to uplift that, and I agree that the government will, aside from what the government going to put in the national budget for rural, the rural fund money will have to be adequately looked into also, and we increase that to ensure that all of our community roads alleys open to ease the tension of a lot of people. Quickly to this issue about the decoration. We celebrate a lot of people today, a lot of people, not only family members and the rest of that. But personally, I will celebrate, we remember and commemorate the homegoing of my own father, Professor Pewee. He was buried away in Lofa. The last time I was in Liberia, we did something I refer to that it's a paraba hot now, so I don't think we would need. The only thing it will require is to see folks that will go and just basically maybe behind, because we have few other grave behind. Maybe we post the number that brush around, but I did a very modern paraba hut there now on his grave in Yela, but that will move through now. We don't. What we need to do, that decoration is just sit there and other people will do things and the rest of that. And my late brother also that passed in 2021. We remember him today. We brothers and sisters, all of them, rest of them converged there and in Johnsonville. Bishop Pewee, we remember him also, and just the rest of the other folks. Professor Sonokupi, he impacted me a lot. He was the individual that exposed us to politics in 2005 and the rest of that. So we had a lot of powerful people that basically may have something up in our past. A lot of friends, relatives, some of our great grandmothers, and other things that passed before and they were buried the traditional way, right? So we cannot decorate their grave, if you will. They are traditionalists, because my grandmother was a traditional Bodio, head of traditional Bodio in the most sacred way. Johnny will understand that. So where they buried those people, we cannot, but we can remember them from the distance and the rest of that. Even my grandfather and all of those. But friends, a lot of friends. I remember most of the comrade Vani Jesse, comrade Vale Dolly, most of our very comrade Patrick Sawyer. These are folks. Unfortunately, Sawyer passed during the time of the Ebola. You heard that news, Mr. Gayman, when he traveled from Liberia, then unfortunately into Nigeria, and he died and got cremated, unfortunately, and so we will remember him from wheresoever we have his ashes and all those things. So yeah, most of the Congress, we will remember all of the deceased. And just commemorated this. It was a good thing. The legislature at the time passed this ban years, decades, but it was good for us to do that, because we will also be remembered one day after we shall have gone to our ancestors' home, if you will.
Okay, Tomalin, I think we all pay respect to. Today is Decoration Day. We all pay respect to our loved ones, friends, people who have gone on. I think it's your turn.
Well, yes. On October 24th, 1916, the legislature passed that act to give this day for us to honor our dead. And today I saw the president paying his dedicated to President Tomalin on a monument, whatever the case, and so forth. But that's a day set aside for us to respect our dead, our relatives, our loved ones. And so today my family went to Bassa, to my grandfather's grave, my great grandmother's grave, my grandmother's grave. They were all there. And I just to reflect that one of these days we're all gonna die, and somebody will go to see our grave too, to clean our grave. But there's some grave. The only thing that is telling me is that it's a grave that they showed me today that somebody went and built on top. I mean, how can you bury on somebody's grave? Bury on somebody's grave. Another one too. The guy said he wanted to clean his father's grave. Somebody's living in the man's grave. living, the video around, man, living in the man's grave. Man said, well, I can't open my I mean,
don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh.
I move to somebody's grave and say you're sleeping there. Man, it's troubling, man. The get place to stay. But again, we just want to say, look, we pay homage to our dead loved ones and to all those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. We want to also say we will salute them today and pay homage to them.
Great. Johnny, I know you gotta go.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I have a different perspective when it comes to this Memorial Day of the Dead. I think we need to try to improve either through some regulation or some law on burial. Our burial system is getting bad, and these are all part of our planning, our urban and city planning. Because when you planning for a community, you expect death to occur, so you should identify a place for burial and should have regulation on burial. And we should not only clean grave, only call this a Memorial Day, Memorial Day. Our grave site should already be clean and kept tight. This day, just to assemble there, for example, and reflect upon this role in your life. But I mean, our system here is like this evening I'm passing by Dopoh Cemetery. See the huge pile of filth by the road. Okay, you clean the grave today, you leave all the dead, tomorrow you come back, the grave is dead again. So the city corporation should also have a system to manage and control burial and grave sites. If we have a law that says burial means digging 6 feet, let's do 6 feet. The two you go to some gravesite, the casket is still laying on the surface of the earth. You got build structure and just push the casket in there. That's not burial in my view. And that's why I even told my family members, all my people around, please let burial going down 6 feet. Right? So we need to have serious regulation and enforce it. So I mean, I think the Memorial Day is good, but our system needs to find a way that we make it more dignifiable. Our death should be dignified in the sense that the way we bury them should be kept clean. Today, go to that now to Dopoh Cemetery now, see what happening there now. So today we have 6 hours of cleaning the cemetery. Go there now and see what happening in the cemetery now in Dopoh or any the place back there behind Peabody Town Hall. See what's happening there now. It's the home of the urban waste young men called Zogo. What are we doing about that? How do we respect our dead only on one day? And when we leave from there, we don't go back there, and the place just left field. They left to public disgrace, so to speak. So I think we should reflect on this day in a positive way, and we need to improve our cemetery sites around here. Look, I went to the let's only know the Muslim cemetery. Do you know why it doesn't get filled? It doesn't get crowded. Have you thought about that before, Mr. Gayman, or anybody on the show? Why the Muslim cemetery never crowded? Because of the burial practice. You must bury the way it's defined to be buried. And when you do that burial practice, that will not be overcrowded. So thank you guys. I'm running out of energy, but I hope to join you guys tomorrow from Zozo. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Joseph Saleh, I know it's late there. Your take, and then you can close, and then you can leave.
Yeah, let me say thank you. Today, all of us, we had a sad moment, and I lost my grandfather. I lost my 2 aunties, my uncles, and my best friend that we grew up together. But on the flip side of it, we went out to do our duty as journalists, and I was with the former president, George Weah, where he went to the Bannersville grave site. He went to one of his mentor, men who he classified as mentor, one of his coaches. From there, we went to Dopoh Road, where his grandmother, his aunt was buried. From there, we went to Pongatown Back Road, and he went to the gravesite of the former representative Mona Penon Youngblood, where he normally he used to call Mona his daughter. And he went there and lived the reef. And it was a sad moment for him. And he expressed, heartfelt to some of these families that he went to lay reefs on. And we came back and everybody went on their normal business. But it was so appalling day today. And On the flip side of it, again, we had a terrible accident. Yeah, I was riding a keke and a lady was driving a car where she just ran into the ditch. Especially it was the 72nd row. I don't know whether if you pass on that road. She ran in the ditch and it was so appalling. She had her entire family into that car, and she was like calling for rescue, and we went there. Yes, as a journalist, yes, you must call the news because we also did some live coverage from there also too. So it was so good. Um, that's it for my end.
Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow, God's willing. Sarah, are you there? Okay, I think Sarah going to take care of some business. Robert, welcome to the show. I know you've been busy. We have
Yeah, man.
covered a lot.
Yeah. I've been following. Great show. Um, and what today is today is Memorial Day in Liberia.
Yes.
And so God bless those that have gone. I think for those of us that are here, I think for me, it's important for us to start to think about how would we want to be remembered. I think that's the most important thing. Like after you have departed this earth, how would you want to be remembered on days like this? And so, God bless the heart of all those who have departed us, and all those who serve our country diligently. Um, is that another holiday set aside to honor just people like military personnel and stuff like that, or do they use this for the whole thing?
I think I think the Armed Forces Day, I think it's the only day set aside for our folks. But
Mm,
today is for everybody, for the whole nation.
interesting. Yeah. But that's all I got to say about that one.
Okay. Before we go, you want to touch on anything, the border, all that before we go?
I mean, not necessarily. I thought we were going to stay up because I know we kind of lost an hour, so I thought we are going to stay a little bit more with the time going back. But no, it's just for me when it comes to the border and everything that has happened. I think I wrote on my page today that it's always an honor to be a Liberian, right? But it's also difficult being a Liberian, Jerome, because we are just special kind of people, and no matter how you attempt to discuss the issues Liberian related, it's just different. The mindset is different. Our approach is different. Uh, uh, and all of these things kind of change when we are not
Just go
when
ahead.
we when we are not in Liberia, right? But I think that to some extent, what this have shown is that we are weak-minded and very timid in times where strength is required, right? And the only areas that we excel is when it comes to foolery and corruption. I mean, we are very high and mighty in foolery and corruption. This is where we perform the best, and it's unfortunate, for me to even have that perspective. I mean, look around us. When there's drama somewhere on social media, you see three, four, five, 10,000 Liberians watching. They're taking nothing away from that. That conversation does not benefit the country or their own lives in any type of way, but go to where substantive stuff, are being discussed. You see fewer people on there, right? Stuff that we should be talking about for the fall march of our country. So it just seems like negativity, foolery, nonsense, consume us and interest us more than the things that should really matter. You see private citizens putting themselves in potential harm's way at the border when we have a government. And yes, I commend the bravery of those men and women, but they should not have to put themselves in harm's way when there's a government, when there's a military, to represent the people in moments like this where there seems to be a threat. You don't have to start war, but you can't just sit and just do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just unfortunate, how we look at things when it truly matters. But that's the story of our times.
Excellent, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Roberta Riches, thank you very much for tuning. Abraham Williams, from your comfort zone. I don't know where, but I know Miss Riches is tuning in from Louisville, Kentucky. Yes, I love that area. Felix Electronics, we got everybody here. Great show, guys. Let's do this again tomorrow. I wouldn't be here tomorrow. I'm going to pick up my twin girls. I'm going to Tallahassee tomorrow to pick them up.
Tallahassee.
It is spring break time, so we got to go and pick them up, bring them home.
How many hours?
6 hours from my house there.
Wow. And you are not going to do the driving?
Yeah.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
My highest driving hours are
3 hours.
3, 4, yeah. I better push it.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah. I got to do the 6 hour, pick them up there on Sunday, a week from there. Then I have to drive all the way, drive them off again, then come.
Yeah. But hopefully they drive back. They're old enough to drive, right?
Yeah, they're 20. They're seniors. They're 20.
So Mr. Gayman, that's it. I drove 12 hours from Middletown, Delaware to was it Wonder in Georgia?
Oh yeah, yes, that's crazy. But just on Saturday when what's his name, George was here for the birthday party, from Atlanta to Cummings, Georgia is approximately 1 hour 10 minutes. I thought I was going crazy because that's 2 hours and 20 minutes to and from. I can't do that. It's almost like from Philly to Myean or Philly to Jersey.
6 hours to go, 6 hours to come. When the girls call, you gotta go. What can you do, guys? Let's do this tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, man. Good night.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right. Good night.
Disappointment. Now the vice president often tell me since he got a seat as vice president, how many persons have I recommended in this government to serve in the government as presidential appointee? 0. Every appointment in Nima County was done by him. He and I would discuss something as a brother to implement it. You will bypass me and do different things. I don't talk on it.
Now you need to see us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask.
The good person in our whole United Party that President Baka. You want to say that again? The only person that appreciate good among all the United Party for that President Baka. The rest are grateful. The right they use you and dumb you. But President Baka, if all of them were taking the President Baka and behaving the President Baka, United Party will have another chance in 2029. Just for now, they do not regard people that help them. I'm not.
Of our soldiers were executed on this party ground. 2 at the back and 1 right at the headquarters. The man who shot and killed our people today is a darling boy in the Liberia National Police. They brought him back to shoot more guns. Get ready to shoot. Because we challenge the status quo appropriately.
Come on, Liberia. Inform them the violence or any student because of their action. It will be the day the entire Brothers administration will cut down. We will massively violate the students in this country and we'll shut down the Brothers administration. The day that happens, we have the capability to do so. And if they think this is their renovation project is a joke, let them try. The fall of the Brothers administration begin with this. If they think they will temple on any student in this country or at the university like Garguah and walk away with impunity, while our children saving opponents and logic in the Western world, while we are subjected to actual poverty and bad learning conditions here, and the thing we see. In
the first 100 days, no car will get stuck on a major road in this country. And I mean it.
You say you're alive?
It's going down. First floor. There you have it.
That led to decades of war still run deep. But so too does the longing for reconciliation. A reconciliation defined not by political bargaining or by an artificial balance of power by tribe, region, religion, or ethnicity, but by the equality of opportunity and a better future for all Liberians.
Bwaga can lie, the government, all the ministers in the government, they can lie. They don't put all hustle, they put hustle, they lie. Everything they say, they never say the truth.
Today, the supporters of His Excellency Joseph Boakai presents him as a poor man from Lofa, and I said that he will understand the plight of the poor people. Fellow Liberians, do not be fooled. Vice President Boakai is not poor like you, not even as me. As Vice President, his office received more money from the government budget than any other Vice President has received in Liberia's history. He has enjoyed some of the best and most lucrative government jobs.
First of all, there's this, what I call sort of vicious lie about the fact that they say Mr. Kobe is gay or bring gay lifestyle to Liberia. It's complete bullshit. When people can accuse you of stealing people's money, when they can accuse you of being involved in the war, anything, people don't make up stuff. They don't make up shit. Excuse my language, right? So it's complete nonsense. I'm married, 8 Teresa, 2 children, 5 grandchildren. I believe in traditional family values, so it's complete bullshit, complete nonsense.
Jamaku, the young man, vice president, young man that are vice president, the major stole 500,000. I mean, Jamaku, the major went to I forgot that Jamaku. The men just went to Ghana defeat and they may bring it all company in the country. I mean, Kun can reach yourself. Kun man, you know, Kun by one of the sophisticated, quiet, hardcore rule in Liberia. But Liberia, when 2029 come and pass, then you finally leave. Mission is completed. Now, what the rules of engagement? When the war ended, the guy said, the captain, the commander said, mission complete. There wounded out first. All men on board.
Everywhere there is no school, I'll post school.
And anywhere there is school and school in bad condition, I will renovate it. I told them, towns and villages, everywhere, you will have lights in a town for children to play and people to see. I told them, every town will have safe drinking water.
If Charles Taylor is the problem, he will be out of here in the twinkle of an eye. And I say, let well-meaning Liberians come home. If we respect this constitution, a government formed in Accra is a violation of Article 1 of the Constitution. Let them come home. Let that government be formed in Monrovia.
The government that capital road, small, B road, all kinds of places. I think the reason Joseph Baga will not do much because the old man, the papa is suffering. The papa loves the country, but he can't make it. The criminal there around him, they sophisticated than him. They are sophisticated criminals, so they can't make it.
Your league Costa, God know how to pay people. It's just simple. Costa that accused everybody here but himself. Everybody, Joe, we join, we accuse Joe, he killed Joseph Baga. Baga still living. Joe, no, you leave my brother. He made me senator. He almost made Joseph Baga president until he screwed up. We gave God the glory. Yeah. Well, Baga, when he screwed, he said, oh, we don't want to make sure we will fought for him to be reconciled with the president. And then the people who fought for him. Look, your league Costa, you come. And Costa on a podcast, he said, they don't been calling me. Okay. The time you were calling me for me to carry the president, Baga, did I put it on radio? That immaturity to do what he talks about.
And I guarantee you, when we finish, there will not be a winner or the loser. Today, we all wear the jersey of Liberia. And the victory belongs to the people, to the peace, and to our democracy. As we begin to build upon the foundation of this new Liberia, I, George Seleke Kromah, the new president, will first give thanks and praises to the Almighty God for the blessing He has bestowed upon our country. And I say, my people, thank you,
We elected 85 irresponsible men what happened to our country. We elected 85 irresponsible men to govern this country, not to be very irresponsible.